people build up in here, and then I'm just gonna walk through the whole absurd fucking tale, starting with the first company, like the whole attempt.
Well, it begins and ends with the same guy.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there a second company that tried to double charge us?
Yeah, that was after him.
Okay, so he starts with this guy and ends with him.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I wrote this as a script,
it's got like such an arc to it.
But no one would believe. People would be like, too unbelievable. Nobody's that fucking unlucky. Yeah. Landlords aren't that scummy. Unbelievable, bro. And you open your whole asshole for them to inspect it, and it's not enough. They got to get the fucking glove on and go up inside. It's like, be patient. I'll tell you. I'm going through the whole thing. The whole monkey thing. The whole goddamn Zootopia experience will be laid before you. I promise.
You just don't want to have to repeat yourself with a bunch of new people coming in.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm not going to start this over. And usually these top out. So I'm going to wait. You guys are going to have to wait a minute for these to, at least have first few waves of people come in, and then we're doing it. And you guys are getting the full story time with Paul. And we're going to call this story time with Paul. Paul tries to move to Crescent City. That's going to be the name of the story. Okay? So if you guys are ready for that story, chill for a little while. I'm going to smoke a J and calm down. Because I was vibrating mad about 20 minutes ago, or 15, maybe even less, 10 minutes ago. Vibrating mad. Oh, you'll know. Wait for it, snobs. It's unbelievable. If I was listening to somebody tell the story I'm about to tell, I'd go, this guy's pouring on the hot sauce. But I'm just going to give it to you raw. I'm going to give you the whole fucking story raw. Story time with Paul tonight. Everybody got it. But we're going to wait. We're going to wait until this fills out a little bit. It takes some time, guys. Give me 20, 30 minutes maybe. It'll be topped off. Because I really don't want to have to do this again. And I want as many people to see it as possible. Because I need the catharsis, bro. I'm opening my soul. I, as a human being, feel like I've been squished. Like a bug. And I need to pick myself up off the pavement. I literally feel squished. I feel unmanned. I do. There's a man thing wrapped up in it. I feel cucked. I do. I feel like I have money. This is supposed to be power. I'm not rich, but I have enough. And I'm powerless. My money isn't enough. My history isn't enough. My goodwill isn't enough. Checking my Zen right now, bro. I'm checking my Zen.
I hope one of these fucking landlords sees this.
They won't.
No.
No, because nothing ever works out like that. You can't hope for things like that because they never happen. Justice doesn't come, not even an iota. This guy will probably rent this place out tomorrow. Find some yokel dokel, and they will have his finger up their asshole. And we'll see how long they put up with it. The lady that's in there now didn't want to put up with it any longer. Now I'm starting to see, maybe it wasn't this fanciful story we were told. Maybe this lady just got tired of him sniffing her fucking business every day. Yeah. Check my Zen. Check your Zen, Paul. Check your Zen, dude. It's okay. This too shall pass.
That's why I didn't tell you until I got you your weed. The second he said that to me and I got off the phone, got out of the shower, I'm like, all right, let's get the weed.
I'm so grateful that you let me get through all that recording too, because I would have been fucking non-functionally shaking with rage for an hour.
Yeah.
You're the best wife. You know me too well. You know me better than anybody.
There's not always a good time to tell you something, but there's definitely better times than others.
That's so fucking true. The versus returns. Yes. So much versus. You two are a power couple. We're powerless, though. No, you're right. We are a power couple. No, she's great. I mean, Amelia, like, is so intuitive of my... She makes me feel like I'm a normal person. That sounds odd. But because she's so aware of my strange idiosyncrasies and so non-judgmental in her willingness to, like, work around those and not judge me for them, she makes me feel like I'm an average person.
I'm being such a sweetie pie.
It's just true, though. It's true. See, this is better. This is Zazen. This is like you focus, instead of focusing on the circumstance in your life that makes you feel like the world is collapsing. Focus on the fact that you're a part of the world. Focus on the fact that there are infinite amounts of things that you could appreciate in your life. And this is just you know, a wave against the shore. And it too will roll back.
We're okay.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah. We didn't have a gun to our head to any of this shit.
Nope, we don't. And that's fine. Ribeye versus filet mignon. Filet.
You don't like bones.
I don't.
Except pizza bones, for whatever reason some people call it crust that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that before, that one meme?
Well, isn't a ribeye, isn't a filet mignon part of a ribeye? Isn't it the eye round of a ribeye with everything trimmed away? Or am I wrong about that?
I don't know.
I know it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody in here will know. You don't even have to look it up. There's meat people everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
I'll get corrected in T-10. Focus on the fact that you and most people watching have it easy. If shit was as bad as the news would make you... No, well, this ain't really news. This is something bad that happened to me. But I get what you're saying. I'm alive. You know, I have my health, and I have my wife, and I have my business, and all of that's fine. It's just this. I'm stymied in trying to move to this little town that would be totally within my price range, but it's just... I swear to God, the people that own properties in this are retards. They have what I like to call landlord syndrome. And I was talking about this the other night when I was pissed off because another landlord fucking rustled my jimmies, jerked me around, right? Landlord syndrome, I'm starting to develop this as an idea. It is literally gotten to the point where they have a feudal mindset. These people that buy up these properties think, I'm a king, and I own this little town's worth of homes, and I can reign over the people that live in them, sniff their business, put them through the ringer, treat them like dog shit, put them on the pay no mind list, and still their money must flow to me, because where will they live? They're over a barrel. They've got this fucking idea, bro, in their head.
It's changed from a business to a lifestyle, maybe?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's yeah. It's blending. Because being a baron back in feudal times was a business and a lifestyle. It's a business that accorded you a certain amount of authority over other people. And just like today, there are only a few people that can come tell this motherfucker to pay up or shut up. And they're all above him. And the ones that he sees as below him, aka me and you, trying to rent a home from him, he's going to treat them like dog shit because they're serfs. These motherfuckers got the wrong guy. You know, I'm a totally reasonable guy, and I'm willing to subvert my expectations to get a deal done. Pay a little more. I don't like that stipulation, but I can work around it. These motherfuckers aren't going to move an inch. They're going to keep taking. This motherfucker, it won't be done. Yeah. His interpretation of any lease we would sign with him would be constantly evolving. Constantly. Every week it would be something with him. Oh, I need to get in there to check this. Oh, I need to check that. And really it's just an excuse for him to either himself come and peruse what is his and make sure we're not smoking or drinking or having people sleep on the couch. He's a little morality cop. All of them are. And the ones that aren't are just too dumb to grab the bag.
Or just such swimming in such excess that they can't even focus on a single point.
It's neo-feudalism. Yeah. You are beneath their notice until you become one of their direct serfs. And then they are noses in your ass and they're sniffing your business for a house.
You know what really made me change my mind, though? Like, after he did that call, I went on that Landlord Love subreddit and I saw someone explaining how much of a pain in the ass it would be.
Yeah.
Because that they were facing that same thing. Like, people coming in with 24 hours notice.
I figured out. I've got this guy. Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Weed. I figured this fucker. He didn't want to rent to us.
He just wanted us to...
He wanted us to go like, how much? Sold. Yeah. He was hoping against hope today that he could not pay a real estate agent, not have to pay to advertise his shit, not have to wait and eat his mortgage.
Yeah, and he was going to make the lease seem more and more
There's something about that house.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with it. Yeah. Something is wrong with that house, or the neighbors are fucking horrifying. Because he's
losing money.
He bought it for $320.
Yeah.
And he's selling it. He's asking $330 a year later. That's not a $10,000 flip. He put more than $10K into that house, renovating
even with interest, it's probably not even.
Okay, I need to start at the start. There's enough people here.
Yeah.
Guys, it is time for a story time with Paul. It's been a while since we did this. Mods, before we start, anybody that comes in asking like, what's he talking about? Time them out. You don't have to ban them, but time them out until the story's over. Okay? Or ban them. I really don't care. If they're trolling, ban them. If they're just being retarded, I don't know. Your discretion. Okay, here we go. So quite a few months ago, Amelia and I were on vacation in my favorite place, Pismo Beach, California. And we tripped mushrooms for the first time together there. Well, her first time, but our first time as a couple. It was far from my first time. We had a lot of cool conversations. It was a really restorative vacation. It was nice. I got to see my dad and my uncle. We spent a whole day with them. It was great. I kind of like glued to my dad, and my uncle Sid and Amelia hit it off, something fierce, you know. So they both, you know, it was great. It was just a great day. A great week that we spent up there, you know. And one of the things was, you said something to me that triggered a whole fucking search, which was, you know, if we kind of like saved up some money and like lowered our expectations a little bit, we could probably afford to live near here, or maybe even in this town, maybe. And I was like, you know what, you're right.
I was saying, like, people have different priorities.
Right. Yeah. But you didn't mean it to do it. But that night, I was up. I couldn't sleep because that just kept ringing in my ears. You could be here. That's what I took from it. That's not what you meant, but it's kind of what you meant.
I was just pointing out, like, you know, like, everyone has different priorities, and some people prioritize the place more than their home.
Right. So I started looking that night because I couldn't sleep, and I found Crescent City, California, which is the city that kind of supports a prison that you probably heard of in just in popular culture, Pelican Bay. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's extreme Northern California on the west side of the coastal range. There's nowheresville, and that's where they build these prisons. The little town of Crescent City is basically like floated by that prison now.
Yeah, like you look at the town boundaries, and it's the town, and then like this weird hump that just goes around the
Takes
prison.
the prison. So, Amelia and I look at it, and the rent is almost unbelievable. Like, it's so low in comparison to other coastal towns in California, Oregon, or Washington, especially ones that are right on a beach. You know, it's like I couldn't believe it, but it makes sense to me as I look at it because it's very remote. But you know what? And like nobody moves there. Nobody really wants to move there long term unless they're a security or like a prison guard, right? Or they're old and they're retiring there, right? This is not a town that like has a lot of opportunity for young people to come get a start. It's pretty much like old people and prison guards.
And rich people.
And rich people that love the area and take advantage of its beauty. So, we're looking at these like asking prices for monthly rent in Crescent City, and it's like less than we're paying here in fucking shitbox Fresno. What? Okay, well, let's start really thinking about doing it. So we started that process. You can't just up and move. But we started the process. We talked. We can do this. We can do that. Finally, we started in earnest, looking at places, reaching out to landlords.
After a week-long visit there.
Right, well, yeah, I forgot that. We visited there for a week. I streamed a few times from there. It was beautiful, and I fell in love with the little town, and I still do want to live there, but I just don't know how feasible it is after today. I'm just feeling very dismal, but we'll get there. So we start looking, and we reach out, and we end up, the first one we land on is this nice little corner house in the town, and we're like, that would be cool. That's plenty big, and it's not ideal for us, but it's like, it'd be great for a year, 2 years, 3 years to live there. You know, just, and then at the end of the lease, you know, we found a place maybe we want to buy nearby. That was the plan, right? So this guy gets back to us, this landlord guy, and he's like he tries to come off as Mr. Straight Shooter. He's like, listen, I'll tell you what's going on. He's like, listen, I've got 8 properties, okay? He's very proud of this. I own 8, he's told me like 4 times over 2 conversations that he owns 8 properties and he's a landlord. We get it. I own 8 properties. I do all this myself. Very straight shooter about it. I'll just tell you how I do things. And I was like, all right, that's one of these fucking guys. Cool. So I sent him everything he wants to the T because I can tell he's a stickler motherfucker. He's going to be one of those dudes, oh, this isn't sufficient. So I sent him everything plus, right, that he asks for. He's like, oh, yeah, everything seems to be in order. Thanks. Everything looks clean. I just got to blah, blah, blah. He calls us back the next day. Yeah, that property went to somebody else, bud.
Yeah, he's like, you took too long to get your application back.
Well, I mean, that he didn't really put it like that, but he was trying to say, they got their application in before you, and the implication was, but we were waiting on them. He was waiting on him to get back on whether the property was pet friendly or not, because if it ain't pet friendly, we're not even going to bother applying. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I wasn't a dick to him because it seemed like this guy owns 8 properties. Maybe he owns other properties around there. This might be a good contact to have. I'm not going to burn it. So I just said, hey, you know, you win some, you lose some. Thanks for letting me know. I said, keep us in mind because we're looking. He said, oh, I will. I definitely will. Well, that one fell through. So we apply on another one that we found. This one looked pretty good. It was out on it was kind of more remote, and I like that. We're looking for like an acre or something. You know, that'd be great. And so we put in on it, basically the same thing, right? We put in on the app. This is more of a company that's doing it, though. We put in the app. He says, there's other applicants. We just got to go through everybody's apps, and we'll get back to you. Sorry, we went with the person that applied before you. But
you're mixing them up a little bit.
Am I?
Yeah. The second one was the one that we talked on the phone with at your mom's house, remember?
Right, that's the one I'm talking about right now. Yeah. The one we gave all that absurd bullshit to.
But it wasn't that someone else got it. That was the next one.
Oh, got it. Anyway, we find another place. We put it on it. The guy calls me up. He's asking me for way more financial shit than they usually ask for. Usually they just ask for a bank statement. He wants like
wants like 3 and the tax return and this, that. Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever, bro. I mean, are you because he was almost treating me like I'm a drug dealer or something. Like, where does this money come from? Well, I own my own business, bud. That's where it comes from. I have this, you know what I mean? And this is where it really starts to get that way. I start to feel like, man, these guys are really sniffing my asshole hard to move into these fucking houses that are cheaper than the one I'm renting right now. Why? This place didn't sniff my asshole at all. It was just like, yep, you're fine. Why is this place sniffing my asshole like I'm fucking maybe Pablo Escobar in disguise or some shit? But I give him everything he wants, right? They send us a contract, and it
not even a contract, an offer.
An offer, and the offer is 3 months rent to move in. Security deposit of $2,150 a month, or $2,150. First month's rent $2,150. One-time pet deposit $2,150. Now, as it turns out, that's illegal. In California, you're not allowed, as of recently. It's actually a recently illegal, but it's illegal all the same.
So we were trying to give him the benefit of the doubt at the very beginning. Like,
right.
You might not have realized the law changed recently.
Oh, fuck. Wrong end. I caught myself, though. But these are real estate people. They know these laws, right? So I'm like, Amelia confirms, yeah, this is against the law for them to even do this. So we write back to them and like, hey, is there a mistake? According to this California law, you're not allowed to ask us for more than double rent at move-in. So are you going to amend the offer for us? Ghosted. Literally, like, not like, thank you for your time. Nothing. Just ghosted. Our application, poof. Like it never happened. And I'm like, bullet dodged, I guess. Scumbag landlord. They probably would have raped us for more money. That's great. Okay, good. We lose, but we win. Good. Then we get a hold of another place. This place looks good. We apply on it. People seem reasonable. Or like, you know, whatever. We give them our thing. I get a hold of the dude that owns the company, and he's like, sorry, that's going to somebody else. Somebody applied before you. It's just the way it works. I was like, hey, no problem. He says, but check this out. We've got this other property. It's renovating right now. But it'll be available in a month. You want me to put...
You told us a couple weeks.
A couple weeks, sorry.
Yeah.
It'll be ready in a couple weeks. Would you like me... Because he was like, because you guys are such good, you know, obviously you're good on paper. He's like, I'll hold your application and your background check. And, you know, you guys take a look at it, and if you like it, we'll put you in first in line on that. And I was like, cool. Yeah, that's cool. And we looked at it, and it was like, less ideal than the other one, but a little cheaper than the other one, too. That's nice. And it'll get us there. Gets us in the town. Gets our foot in the door. Now we're residents. And so I tell him, sure, dude, yeah, we'll take that. And he's like, awesome. I'll get you guys' lease going. Give me, you know, I can't even remember what the first time was, but it's like, give me a couple of days or something. We're like, cool. All right, whatever. I don't know why it's going to take a couple of days, but cool. In the meantime, while we're waiting on our first lease, the house we're applying for with him lists on Zillow. And we're like, that seems like something that wouldn't need to be done if you've got a renter that you're just going to send a lease to, right? So,
he came back to us saying, "Oh, I never ran your background check way back then, so
we paid $60 a pop,
yeah.
So $120 for a background check for each of us." And he was like, "Oh, they never sent me the back, so I have to get with them." He didn't make that our problem, but that was part of the delay.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to look at your background. Then when that came through, and we're clean, by the way. No arrests, no felonies, no misdemeanors, no evictions, no late payments, no bad credit rating, nothing. Zip, right? So we go, okay. So we're waiting. Finally, I call him, right? It's like a couple days go by. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that came through. And he was like, I was Googling you. And I'm like, oh. And he goes, yeah, so you do a podcast, huh? I was like, yeah. He goes, Drunken Peasants, right? I was like, yeah. It's like, that was my old show. I do a new one now. But yeah, 10 years I've been doing it. So pretty good business. He's like, oh, yeah. That's cool, man. By the way, these questions, you have to understand, they're presented in a friendly conversational manner, but really they're just infringing your rights. This is a landlord, because they own or manage a piece of property, sticking their nose in your asshole and going like, so what do you do for a living? How do you make your money? Where you at? Where can I find you? Right? This is none of his business. I've proven that I have the money, more than enough money, to pay for a year's worth of rent out of pocket on this place. This is not a big baller place. $1,900 a month is the price of this place that we're talking about. Keep that in mind. That's expensive for some people, but we're talking about a house on the beach. So anyway, I'm just straight up with him. Typically, like, I'm glad I was, because he'd already Googled me. Because he was like, what did you do? What do you do? And I just was like, I could lie and say, well, not lie, but I could just say like e-commerce. That's what I usually tell people. I run an online business. And usually that's enough for people. They're like, oh, okay, cool. But he goes, oh yeah, because I Googled you on Drunken Peasants, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, cool. That's really neat, man. That's really neat. He didn't say anything else, but I knew why that was really neat later. He goes, all right, man. He's like, I tell you what, man, I'm busy. Give me the weekend. Or no. The first time he sent it.
Yeah. Not immediately.
Not like immediately. I had to chase it down.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yeah. I'll get that done today. And he got it. And it's like hilariously unfinished.
Because they have, the Realtors Association or whatever has all these templates. Mm-hmm. You just fill in the blank, and then you got a lease. And it's just empty, apart from our names and his name and a couple of check boxes, but everything else is blank. And I just tell him, I get him on the phone, and I'm like, I can't sign this. Well, why not? Nothing's checked. And he looks at it and he goes, dang, yeah, that's supposed to be checked. He goes, you know what? I think your wife's side is checked. You sign it, and then hers should be filled out. And I was like, well, all right. So I put my signature on it because I know it's not valid. Both of her names are on it. So you have to sign and I have to sign. Otherwise it's... And if money doesn't get exchanged,
right,
then
there's no contract.
Yeah.
Right. So she gets it. Hers is even worse. Hers has less shit on it. And I'm like, okay. You got to fix this. He's like, dude, I don't know how this happened. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry, but I'm so busy this weekend. Give me like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll get back to you Monday or Tuesday. And we'll get you a clean one. We'll get this done. Keep in mind now, we're waiting now a week and a half for this dude to figure it out. We can't
when he's had our application on file for longer than that.
Right. He's had our app on file for over a month. And we're still waiting for him to give us a clean contract a month and a week and a half later.
It's not like he just came into this house. They were working on it. So, presumably he knew all the things about the house.
That's the thing. It was just like, but I was like, okay, he's dragging ass, but whatever. So Monday comes around, and I'm expecting a phone call. During, normal I'm a old school guy. 9, 10, 11 p.m. I should have a phone call off of this guy going sent you that thing.
A.M., not P.M., but yeah.
Or A.M., yeah. Same difference to me. So I don't hear from him. I text him. Hey, dude, just checking in. It's Monday. Check, earlier in the day. He ghosts all day. 5:30 that day, I send him a text that says, or 5, I said, hey, dude, just checking in at the end of the day to see if you could get them today, like you said. He texts back, oh, dude, I'm doing it right now. I'll send it to you right now. Right now became 45 minutes later, and I'm on a call with him. I open it up. He's all like, glad we got that taken care of, man. Just go ahead and look it over, man. Everything should be pristine. And I look at it, and it's hilariously unfinished.
Like 2 more things were added.
Yeah. He checked one box, and he might have added one thing. Some shit was in the wrong box. Somebody else's name was on it now. It was weird. And so I told him, like, I can't fucking sign this, bro. And he's like, can you take pictures of that? Because I'm not seeing that on my end. I sent him the pictures. He's like, wow, that's crazy, man. I will figure this out, bro. I will figure this out. And I was like, cool. And he goes, tomorrow. And I was like, all right. And I was like, all right, man, I'll get with you tomorrow. Then he texts me and he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. This has been such a mess, bro. We'll get you handled tomorrow, bro. And I'm like, I send him back a text like, look, dude, I don't mean to be a dick, but it's gotta be tomorrow, man, because this has been kind of absurd. We're on hold over here waiting on you for 2 weeks on this lease that we talked about 2 weeks ago. You've had our stuff on file, man, so it's like, I don't know what's the holdup can be at this point, but we really got to do it tomorrow morning. He goes, dude, totally understandable. You got it, man. I was like, cool. So I got up at 8. I texted his ass at 9, which is when his business says it's open.
But he's the owner.
He's the owner of the business. His business hours stated on his business website are 9 a.m. So at 9, on the dot, bro. And I'm actually streaming. So you can go watch a couple streams ago. This happened live, but I'll retell it for those of you that weren't here. Hey, dude, got that lease for me? And instead of like, yup, sending it now, it was, oh my God, dude, I'll get on that right now. I'm heading in right now to get that done for you. And so I was like, all right. And I'd put him on a clock in my head. I was like, noon, this guy's done. If he's not back to me by noon, it's over. And then somebody in the chat, I can't remember, he's a new fucking wrench. E-Train, I think, was like, dude, this guy's fucking shade. It doesn't take that long to fill one of these out. Something's up. And even if something isn't up, do you want to fucking like have your landlord be a retard?
And it'd been like 45 minutes by the time he pulled the plug.
So at 45 minutes after he told me he was going to get it done right now, I send him a text like, dude, you know what? After 2 weeks on hold, waiting for a contract that should take 20 minutes to fill out fully, right? And 2 hilariously incomplete and unsignable contracts, we've decided to pursue other options. And he gets back to me like, that's fine. I won't send the contract. That's all. So he didn't learn anything. Right? So I'm down in the doldrums. This is like a couple days ago. And I'm just like, fuck. Another one bites the dust that close. But the guy's an idiot. He fumbled the bag twice. 3 times. Sorry, dude. Where I come from, you fumble it once, you lose it. So, I gave you a grace period, bro. So, I'm down in the dumps, right? Today, Amelia comes running into my room. I'm playing a video game before we had to record. We recorded 3 DFF episodes for patrons today. Back to back to back. So it was a big day. Trying to chill out, get out of the funk, playing a little game to kind of like wake up and limber up. Amelia comes running in, grabs me with the phone. And I'm like, what? And she covers the phone. She's like, it's that landlord guy from way back. I was like, oh. Grab it. I go, hello. It's this dude again. I recognize his voice immediately. And he's like, hey, man. Kind of a strange thing happened, but you were the first call I thought to make. And I was like, okay, what's going on? He's like, well, you remember that house you guys applied for? I was like, yeah, it was a nice little house. He goes, well, he spun this whole story. He was like, well, I'll be candid with you as a business guy. He was like, here's what happened. The lady that ended up winning it out over you guys was a real estate agent. And so she was going to sell the house while she rented it for me because I'm trying to get out from under this house, man. That's the whole point of me calling today,
when
really.
His original story was,
right.
I want you guys to rent it so it could be my dream vacation
right.
home.
This was going to be his vacation home, and now he's decided this is no longer his vacation home. So the story has changed since we last talked to him a month ago, right? And he goes, and he was like, and now this lady is basically backed out on me. She wants to go back home. The market is flat here in Crescent City. She doesn't see the potential in being a real estate agent here. And she's decided, that she's going to go back to Iowa, was the story he tells me. And I'm like, okay. So you're left holding the bag is what I'm guessing. Yeah, and I need a tenant in there, and I just thought of you guys. So already he's coming to me like...
But he's like, I have an offer to buy or
right.
to rent.
But he's like, it's even better than that. You guys said that you and your wife were looking, right? Well, it's for sale. And I was like, oh. Well, I don't know that we're looking to buy anything today on the phone with you. We're looking to rent down there so we can look at houses. But, hey, we get a contract with you. We rent. If we like the house, we'll buy it. And if we don't, at the end of our contract, you sell it or rent it out again. Right? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. Yeah, that'll work. We could probably do that. That sounds... And then then the stipulations start. But, I'm trying to sell it, so you'll have to be okay with me showing the house. And I was like, bro, I work from home. So... I forgot to tell you some shit. Let me rewind. Go back to the earlier conversation with this guy. Right? Earlier in the conversation, he goes off on a tangent. And I want to underline this because this is some dirty shit, right? But I know what it meant. He goes, so you're a podcaster, huh? You guys are going to like this part. And some of the people that hate me are really going to like this part. He goes, you're a podcaster, huh? I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's part of my business. That's what I do. Yeah. He goes, you don't mind me asking, but you seem, from what I've watched, like a Republican. And I was like, do I say yeah? I probably should have. Well, no, I shouldn't have, because he would have found out and then fucked with us. This guy's a scumbag. Right? And so I go like, I'm assuming what he saw me doing was trashing on fucking Kamala Harris. Right?
Well, that's most of the clips.
That's, the recent clips. Yeah, that's going to be the most of the shit, right?
Yeah.
And so I go like, well, sir, you've been straight up with me about all this. I'll be straight up with you. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. I'm a labor leftist. Well, what's that? I said, well, that means that my politics pretty much begin and end with blue-collar working people getting a bigger piece of the pie that they make and bake. My dad was a union president. Both my parents were factory workers. I've been a hard worker my whole life. And I think that the people that do the work, that prop this country up, ought to get a bigger piece of the pie. And he was like, well, how do you feel about Kamala? And I was like, I hate her. She's a cop, and she sucks. And he was like, oh, you're all right, man. All right, man. And it's just like, that is disguised as friendly banter, but this is no friend of mine. That was a litmus test.
Which is a weird litmus test. Like, the fuck do you care?
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Fuck weird.
Yeah.
It's illegal for him to give me a home or not based on my politics.
Who you're gonna vote for in the election?
You like Kamala? Maybe he saw Paul's eagle. Yeah, maybe he did. Cacao!
Maybe you tricked him.
Yeah, maybe my satire is too good. Maybe I need to roll it back.
Yeah.
I'm attracting Republicans. Ugh. It's all good. I want to talk to Republicans, too. I want them to hear blue-collar shit.
Yeah.
Just as much as a Democrat hears it, so. So anyway, the stipulations start coming out. You're going to have to let me show the house while you're living in it. And I was like,
And then if it sells,
And then-
I'll get you another house.
Yeah, and he was like, if it sells, I'm looking to buy a new house. You guys can rent that, and I'm going to want a 2-year lease on that. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you have a house to put us in? Well, no, not yet, but I'm going to buy one here real soon. And I'm like, I tell you what, we'll take a look at that when and if you get it, and we can make a deal on it then. But now, we're willing to do a 1-year lease to rent this place with you if you limit showing the house to Saturdays and Sundays. I'm never, hardly ever live then. I can make an allotment for you to show the house a couple times on a Saturday or a Sunday. He was like, totally reasonable, totally understand, I can do that. I was like, okay, fair enough. We're going through it. We send him our stuff again because he lost it.
Even though the email was
right,
there.
the email was still there, so he's a retard in addition to being a Trump supporter, which is, I didn't know how that happened, but because yeah, the email we sent him with all our shit is still there, but he was like, I don't have your app anymore.
And
it's
the,
like,
the app was attached to it. He
Yeah.
sent us a new blank one. It's like, this is the same one we filled out. I'll attach
It's
it
all
again.
there,
'cause
lady.
You can't look at 3 attachments at once.
it's all there,
apparently.
duder. Yeah, he's retarded. He's a boomer and then some, right? But you guys would have been proud of me, bro. I'm risen this dude. Chuckling. He kept saying shit like, man, more I talk to you, more I like you. And I was like, yeah, well, hey, I'm a likable guy. What can I say? Hard to hate me as a landlord. I'm a gold star tenant. Well, yeah, I see that.
You gotta tell him about the carpet and the pictures.
It gets worse. This conversation goes on and on. I was almost late to start recording today because this dude just had so many questions. He had to have his nose in my asshole so deep that it took like an hour or more, right? So he's like, oh man, one thing though, I just got new carpets in this place and you guys got pets. And I really wanted this lease to go to somebody without pets. Meanwhile, the pets were no problem the last time.
Yeah.
But now the pets are a problem. And I told him, sir, I don't care about carpets. I will throw down an area rug so big it'll cover your whole carpet. And I'll fucking pay, whatever. I'll get it done. My animals
Pet
are...
rent.
Yeah, I was like, pet rent. And he was like, oh. He's like, I'm going to need a deposit on this. And I was like, as long as it's reasonable, because we've been gouged before. And these are good dogs. We've got no history. He was like, well, it'll be reasonable. And I was like, how about this? We'll pay you a pet rent every month. You chalk up a little extra on our bill. And then at the end of the 12-year contract, you got your pet rent. Or you got your pet deposit. He was like, huh, that's a good idea. I was like, well, yeah. He's like, we'll do that. That's reasonable. He's like, I like you. You really got your stuff together. And I was like, well, thanks. I've been doing this a long time. I'm a good renter. I know how this works. Etc. So he goes like, but can you send me some pictures of your house?
The rooms the pets are
The rooms the pets are in. And I was like, what do you mean? I just like to see what the house looks like. I was like,
Make sure they're not messing it up, the areas
Right.
they're in.
so I was like, okay, we'll do that. And I get off the fucking mic with him and I'd say, Amelia, go like spruce up in there and take a picture of the living room and the kitchen and send it to him. This fucking guy. I'm so far along on this that I'm willing.
Yeah, we moved the litter box into the kitchen. So
It was
looks
fucking
like it's
retarded.
not-
It was retarded what we've done. But I was like, if that's what this guy needs to move the fuck along and get me down there, I'll do it.
So that's done. You're working.
So I get to the end and Amelia reminds me, like, you got to start work. And I was like, dude, I said, sir, I'm sorry, but I got to go. I start work in just a few minutes here. So I'll pass you off to Amelia and we can finalize the detail. All right, thank you. He goes off with her. She finishes up with him. I'm doing my shit. He calls her.
Like 2 hours later.
2 hours later, when I've told him I'm busy for the rest of the day, 2 hours later, he calls knowing he's going to get her, I think.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's changed. Saturday, Sunday, we can't do that. My realtor said it's got to be open any day. And what was it? I'm gonna need some just a little bit more financial information as well.
Even though he has all our old stuff that we sent him like 2 months ago.
Right. So what is the implication that I've gone broke since then? I've never ripped off a landlord in my life, and now at 44, I've decided to rip off a landlord.
Yeah, that you lost all your money in 2 months.
What state are you in? California.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. Tomorrow, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it. I haven't talked. I was going to just text him back today, but I was like, no, I'm going to wait. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm telling this guy to go fuck himself tomorrow. And I want him to know that he's lost a Gold Star tenant because he couldn't keep his nose out of my asshole, politically or otherwise. And I'm going to let him sit and spin on that. And I'm going to tell him I don't want to buy his ramshackle house too, because it's suspect that a month ago it was your dream vacation home and now you're looking to unload it a year after you bought it. And you want me to be the one to unload it on. What's wrong with this house, guys? Septic problems? Cracked foundation? What's he trying to unload? What kind of dog shit is he trying to unload? 2 people down there have lost the bag because they're retarded, bigoted, or nosy. 3, actually.
Yeah.
Weird.
That one place wanting a whole month's rent for a pet deposit, even if a pet deposit was legal, period, you've never paid that.
I would never pay $2,100 a month for a pet deposit, or $2,100 one time for a pet deposit on a home.
Yeah, like if he had said 500 or something, we'd been like,
Sealed.
whatever.
Deal sealed,
Even
whatever.
though it's not technically legal, whatever.
You're not triple tapping me, bitch.
Yeah.
So my whole shit is on the roaster now. I don't even know if I want to be in this town anymore. I don't know if any of my dreams make sense anymore. And I'm just letting you guys know it's not happening. But I'm back on the RV tip again. On the road again.
Because this market's not making a lot of houses.
This rental market in this little town
Yeah.
is fucking retarded. And I don't know where these people get off. But it's literally neo-feudalism. It really is. They are land barons. And they can... Any insult to you as a human being should be just taken with a smile and a grin. Maybe I should call this guy and say, like, howdy, Ron. My wife let me know that you had a couple changes to make, and I wanted to let you know I am 100% behind those changes. Why don't you go ahead and send me that lease? And I wanted to make a little offer, a little sweetener to the deal. I guess it's not necessary now. Would you like prima nocta with my wife? The first night, would you like to take my wife into your bed? As is a lord's purview? What are you talking about? Would you like some pictures of my underwear drawer? My wife has a vibrator. Would you like to know the length and how many batteries it is? And would you like I can send you a video of it humming. Would you like that? I took a shit this morning and I forgot to flush it. Can I send you a picture of that too so you can check my stool? And I'll have him on the phone until he hangs up.
I'm just gonna troll him instead of telling him off.
No, I'm just going to tell him no thank you.
Yeah. As fun as it would be, it's...
That would be the fun way to do it. But tomorrow I'm just going to call him and I'm going to say...
We don't agree to your new stipulation.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm just going to tell him the straight up truth. I'm going to say, like, we had a good business rapport up until that last little stipulation bomb that you threw in there. I felt like we had a real good... mutually beneficial verbal agreement there, and your new stipulations are untenable. I run a business from home, so we're pursuing other options. Good luck. And that's it. That's all I'll say. That'll be it. But
when you're in the heat of the passion, you want to have this whole thing, but You know, he doesn't deserve that much of our time.
Yep.
He doesn't deserve a counter offer. He doesn't deserve the whole spiel telling him what a retard he is.
Dude, if I was a retard, I would stream myself doing that tomorrow. That would be the big retarded thing for me to do. And oh my god, it would be fucking glorious. I would love every second of that inadvisable shit.
But it's inadvisable.
It's horrifyingly inadvisable. So I won't be doing that. I'm going to tell this guy, thanks, but no thanks. I don't like it when business deals that seem agreeable for both sides suddenly change without me present. So, have a good day. You lost another one. Fumbled the bag again. Picked the wrong tenant the first time and fumbled the tenant the second time. Fumbled the right tenant the second time by being an asshole. Sniffing. Fuck. That's what I want to say. Ghost him? Ooh, no, can't do that.
Because then he's just going to keep poking.
Yeah, not only that, but he just spreads gossip then. Yeah. Or gets with his buddies that also own in the town and goes like, don't rent to Paul Parkey. He's a fuck around fuck. I'm just going to give him the business. The straight business. That's my daddy coming out of me right now. My daddy knew when to blow his top and when to go straight business. Thank you, Daddy. What was the stipulation? That I allow him to show my house with 24 hours notice on any day of the week. And that he wanted more financial information than my recent tax, my like, what was it, last 4 years of tax returns for my business.
That was a different dude, but you still showed enough.
I showed my whole fucking bank account to the guy and showed that I had enough money to fucking to pay for half of what the house is probably worth.
If it's an honest assessment. Because
yeah.
something's wrong with it. If he's...
This dude, see, there's part of me that just wants to go in friendly, yeah, just so I can get more info out of him.
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to unload this house? Because
when it seems like you're not making any money on this.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused because I remember the first time we talked about that. Yeah. This was your dream vacation home that you were fixing up, yeah, and now you're trying to unload it and talking about buying another house. But I'm not going to do that. That would antagonize his dumb little fucking head. So I'm just going to be a business person.
Yeah. You'd probably just end up confusing it if you added anything else.
Oh, yeah. And when they get confused, they get mad.
Yeah. He was already confused thinking that you were a dyed-in-the-wool Republican from some clip he saw.
It's fucking absurd. The fact that this motherfucker, like... I can't wait to get this fucking lawyer that we're looking into for other reasons, for business reasons, and ask him if there's any action we can take against either of these fucking landlords. The one that tried to scalp us and ghosted, did they break the law or not? And if they did, is there anything we can do as recompense for having our time wasted and our money wasted? Because we paid for a fucking background check for them too. And this guy, with his wishy-washy shit, and that other dude with his 2 weeks and false contracts. Are any of these people culpable for any kind of discrimination or loss of license due to incompetence? Or any kind of breaking of California law? Is there any consequence? We should have paid that and then sued them. I bet we would have got like fucking 3 or 4 months for free. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. We should have paid that triple up and then sued them for breaking California law. Because at that point, there's undeniably a crime. Money has changed hands. They've broken California law.
That's what's held us back, is because it's like nothing's been signed and sealed, so it's hard to fucking...
On the road again. And just can't wait to get on the road again.
TLDR, a shit little town has shit little landlords that are little feudal bitches.
Shitty little town with a shitty little landlord.
I think taking a break is good.
Yeah, I decided, well, not that you guys need to know this, but that's not like a secret. I was like, a week worth of not even thinking about moving.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow, after I take care of this fucking landlord the business way, not the fucking Paul's ego way that I want to. If only he would get the justice of my derision, if nothing else. But even that he could use to fuck with me. So I'd rather not give him the ammo. Everything comes back to you threefold if you're a Wiccan, right? I don't want whatever threefold from this rich fucking petty conservative fuck is. I'll just bow out.
Yeah, it's exhausting talking to these landlords. They want you to be Johnny on the spot on the phone at any moment.
But you can't get a hold of them ever.
Yeah.
They never meet any deadline they tell you they're going to meet. They're wishy-washy as fuck. Shit changes minute to minute, second to second with them.
But if you don't answer the second that they contact you, then they move on to someone else.
How old is he? If I had to guess, he's 50 or 60 at least.
Oh, he told you he was in his 60s.
Oh, he's in his 60s. Okay. Well, there you go. So, there you go. Boomer. Capital B boomer. Can I ask you a question? That's the dumbest question to ask in here. That's what we do here. You can ask me anything you want, bud. I'm sorry to be mean. I'm just fucking, dude, you're catching shrapnel from me right now because I really am pissed. But it's chill. You didn't do anything wrong. You can ask me whatever you want, bud. Well, I mean, a big RV like we're looking at, we wouldn't need a gym membership, although we could get one.
If you wanted a little roomier. Or even those truck stops got showers.
Well, I'm saying, but you get a gym membership, you can shower whenever the fuck you want, and you've got a gym.
Yeah. And
you know, one of the things...
If it's a chain, then you can go to...
One of the things about it is, like, the house thing lets me eventually figure out a way to get you further away from me so you don't have to listen to me screaming all hours of the night, and I can work and make us money. The RV kind of limits that. Unless we come up with a cycle where we're staying at a much more remote place and then bringing the whole rig down to dump it out, fill the water tanks, shop, and then going back up the mountain. That could work. And with Starlink, that would be fucking totally feasible. But that would be us, you know, having to every time, you know, 3 days are probably worth a septic. Unless we can find one of those places that's got a shitter. So we just don't poop in it. We don't pee in it. We shower in it, though. The gray water's got to go somewhere. So it's just like, fuck. Nothing makes sense. I just imagine myself waking up at 3 in the morning and the shitter's full. And I've got to go crap in the woods and it's snowing. And then tomorrow we've got to make a slippery trip down the mountain to fucking dump the fucking septic. Nope. RV dream just died in one moment of catastrophizing. No, I'm kidding. But it's something we'd have to think about.
Yeah. Well, that's the main reason where my hesitation came from, is it seemed like there were a lot of cross purposes and cross goals.
What if we do this? Well, I mean, yeah, like the cross purposes are, in my fucking dream of dreams, I have my home that I grew up in as a little boy, with goats and chickens prancing around on it, and maybe even a horsey. But I'm starting to see that I'm functionally locked out of that just by sheer, not even financially, just by sheer will. And I don't know that, like, fighting that fight is what I want to do. So it's like, well, what's my other option? Well, there's a billion fucking options. We need to start looking at them. Maybe California ain't it. Maybe that beautiful little town was just a dream that came and went. Maybe my childhood was just a dream that came and went. Maybe it's not meant for me, or maybe it's not in the cards for me. See, this is Buddhism coming out of me now. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. And desiring after it has done nothing but damage me. So it's punished me for my desire. Even though the desire, I think, is beautiful and real, I've been punished for it at every turn by people that seem like demonically, obsessively opposed to me, either in stupidity or just outright malice, or, as my mom used to say, metiche, or a combination of that plus felony, or whatever it would be for them to break California housing law and hope a felony.
I think there's 3 tenets. How would you prioritize location, conditions of the home, and amenities?
What would it be under the umbrella of amenities in this?
Like the surrounding amenities. Like
amenities first.
So you like DoorDash? That kind of
No. Oh wait. You're talking about. I was thinking like the beach or the woods or somewhere beautiful. Okay, so location first.
Okay.
Amenities.
Amenities or the home. That's the thing. Is like, would you rather
amenities, and then because I would rather buy a cheap house that's busted up and fix it, or just replace it with a brand new double wide or something, than pay out the ass for somebody else's vision of what a nice house is. I don't need this. And this isn't even like a fucking mansion or nothing. This is just a shitty little fucking suburban stucco house. I don't want it. Give me simplicity and functionality and land to walk around and piss on and look at the squirrels on. That's all I want. And I don't think we can get it in this area. But maybe there's another area of the world or the country that also fits the locational criteria of not being a smoke bomb that's killing me and my voice.
The other reason why I thought the RV might not be best is because we were looking at apartments up there too. You seem to want an apartment without the washer, dryer, and all that. But was that just you not wanting to pay someone else for something, a downgrade?
Yeah. So say it again. I'm sorry.
I was saying, like, when we were also looking up there were apartments, but you weren't interested in them because they didn't have a yard, they didn't have the washer, dryer, and all that.
Yeah. Pay and go through the fucking hassle of moving again, and then moving again because we're not living in an apartment the rest of our lives. So you double move. Yeah. I don't want to downgrade. Or at the very least, I want a side grade. And I don't see that you know, I'm fine. You know what? Downgrading is fine if location and amenities are in play. Then great. I'd be willing to, like, oh, let's pop into a fucking. It'd have to be a decent apartment because I need a fucking office, and you need to sleep, and they're gonna be neighbors. So it's like, it's got to be a place that doesn't have paper-thin walls and shitty shit. But it's not that I'm above living in that. It's just I can't see how I do my job the way I need to do my job in an apartment in perpetuity. So if we're going to do that, it's kind of got to be done in furtherance of us moving adjacently into something better within a year, you know? And we can't guarantee that in this place. Currently renting from a psychopath that purposely bangs on the wall with a bottle at midnight after I told them politely not to a while ago. Weird. Stop smoking, get banned. Bay Area is too expensive. TBH, it sucks here. I'm sorry, Peter. I hope you get to a better place too, bud. Would have been moving closer to you though, but not no more. The child is grown. The dream is gone. I don't know how to, I mean, like, how many times do you get your fucking face slapped trying to be a reasonable person and move to a town before you realize, like, maybe your type ain't liked there? Or maybe there's something wrong with this little place if it's run by people like this. I don't know. My intuition says that it's just some bad apples and we've just gotten horribly unlucky. But maybe that's not the case.
Well, I had a sinking bad feeling with the last one for whatever reason from the jump.
Well, I have a sinking bad feeling about the whole enterprise now.
Yeah.
The entire thing. The fact that the term landlord is still used. And the reason that they don't give that up, despite the fact that they know it makes them look shitty, right, is because they want to be able to assert themselves in your lives like a lord. Otherwise, they would have long ago picked something that more redefines their role. A house procurement operative or something. Because this idea that it's like, it's my house, you just live in it, like that, that's not the law. The law says when you're paying to rent this place, it's your house.
Yeah, this is our domicile.
They can evict us, but there's a legal process to that. And in between that, they can't come invade our privacy. Period. And it's like they want that up front. They want to sniff your butt before you even get any ink. I feel gross that we sent that dude pictures of our home.
We were just so impatient that we were walking
And he took
past-
advantage of it. He
Yeah.
sensed it on us that we were fucking, like, not desperate, but like
we're just like disheartened, like one after another. We're still looking after all this time.
thought he had us over, had a couple fish, like loaded up into the barrel. No. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna pull now.
I've dodged like 5 bullets trying to move to this town though, Vlad. I'm starting to feel like maybe this town don't want me. Maybe
There's something just off with
something's
the town.
off with the town. Maybe it's a Stephen King town where there's like a sickness at the heart of it or something, and I'm not vetting out as one of the evil people that can be recruited into the cult or some I don't know. But I've dodged like literally 5 bullets just trying to move to this town that's got tons of rentals in it. People are desperate to get fucking renters in their rentals. It's like, I've done everything right in my life. Always paid my fucking rent. Save my money. I don't spend it frivolously, so I can show income and savings. And this is how I'm rewarded for doing what I'm supposed to in the landlord market. Asshole sniffed. Honor impugned. Privacy violated over and over again. Politics vetted blatantly and flagrantly. It's like, what? Are we in America or jolly old fucking medieval England? Because if I need to just like blow this dude or give him a fucking bag of gold or something, then you just tell me. Quit beating around the bush.
It seems like with everything else in this world, if you have money, people generally just take it.
Yeah. And we're like,
Like
here's the thing. I have just enough money that everybody that's got that next tier above me is feeding on me like piranhas. They look at me and they're like, look at this rube. Let's get as much of that as we can. Suck him out.
So he can't buy the next house.
Right, so he can't fucking ever fucking Sith Lord us and buy the house that we want. It's all a fucking work. And I'm sick of it. Oh yeah. I don't think all of them were, but I think there's discrimination involved, especially in this guy's fucking bullshit. Him vetting me fucking 90 times over. That's his little fucking, this is a Democrat right here. His little fucking friendly conversation about politics in the middle of us trying to get a business deal struck while I was waiting to go to work. I know what that was about. That was naked and barefaced. What does the guy got to do? Because you know what the fucked up thing is? And you guys may believe this or may, this is my word coming at you. A lot of you don't know me from Adam, so I don't expect you to take my word. But, I don't go through my life fucking people over. If I've ever fucked somebody over, advertently or inadvertently, I've made it right with that person. I don't horse fuck people as a rule in my life. I don't scam people. I don't look to get one over on the next guy. That is just not in me. I don't put that out into the world, yet everywhere I look, they're like vampires on me. They want my money, they want my time, they want my privacy, they want everything from me. And they take, and they take, and I give, and I give, and I supplicate, and I supplicate, and I'm starting to get fed full up with the whole enterprise. This is not America. A working person is treated this way in America.
Where not even your money is good enough.
My money isn't even green in America anymore. I don't understand it. So the capitalist heart doesn't beat anymore in this country, I guess. It's dead. They don't want my money anymore. What do I do? They think I'm a rube. They think they're going to let me I'm going to let them double dip in my pockets or triple dip. And if I'm not, they ghost me. Oh, too smart. So I got to be retarded and have too much money to know what to do with. That's clearly what they're looking for. Oh, this guy's got a lot of money. Let's see how much more money he's got. I'm going to need some bank documents. Some bank documents. Fuck you. Karmic retribution for the video game house you stole in Ultima Online, bro. I'm reaping what I've sown. All these years later, damn you, karma. I never fucked that guy. Well, I did fuck that guy over. It was fun, though. Much love from Scotland. Hey, buddy. What's an immigrant treated like there that's got clear roots to 2 clans of Highlanders? 2, not 1, but 2. All right, McBean and Park, all right? Direct relation. Highlander blood runs in me veins. It is only by accident of birth that I was born in this heartless place. Would I be welcomed in the motherland? I bet the answer is going to be, no, laddie, you wouldn't.
I think the only one that's got blood citizenship, like from ancestry, is Italy. My dad's looking into that, but I'm 2 removed.
You're 2 removed. You're not Italian enough.
Yeah.
Shit.
My dad might have a chance, but not me.
What if he gets it though?
That doesn't make
through you.
No, it's maternal line.
What if he becomes your guardian for a year?
No. It's certain weird bloodline rules, and
Israel, Israel has birthright citizenship, yeah. But I got no Jew. 0% Jew. None. Did I actually make a white power symbol while I said zero? I mean this is a 0% Jew, okay? I hate that because this to me means okay or zero or asshole. Because that's the sign language for asshole, right? Like if you wanted to call somebody an asshole in a heated way with sign, how would you do it?
Maybe.
That's one. Would you consider that a fucking viable way of doing it?
Probably.
Is it more complicated than I think it is?
No, it's just I haven't been in it in so long.
Sorry, I'm trying to pick. You're right.
I learned some baby signs and I could maybe finger spell at someone that's deaf, but
the rest of it is all kind of left you.
Like my dad thought I still remembered more than I did too, but it's like I haven't signed since consistently since I was like 6. I don't know what to
Makes sense.
In 20 years, that stuff tends to flitter away.
It's only the white power symbol if it's held upside down, to my knowledge. Oh, because it makes a P and a W? Well, how do you hold it upside down?
It's by just having it
having it down.
Head. Yeah.
So it's got to be like below your waist.
Yeah.
Whatever, bro. Yeah, I thought that, because that used to be a thing where if you walk up to a buddy of yours and you do that and you look them right in the eye, and if they look, you got to slug them because they're a cock looker. I'm not even joking. That was a whole game started by that movie Waiting with that fucking hideous beast that plays Deadpool. What's his name?
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds. Early role of his. It's a great movie. Ball gazer, cock looker.
I have a proposal for you.
Oh. The proposal was pizza. I didn't need to mute. I thought it was going to be like a moving proposal or something. I was like, ooh. I muted you guys for nothing. It was just like, do you want pizza? I was like, does the Pope wear a pointy hat? Yeah, no more. I can't think like that, dude. I recognize it when it's presented to me, but I can't put. I don't know, dude. I would not be able to dude. And this is something that people will probably laugh at me for, but I've got like a blue collar work ethic and just like an ethic about life that prevents me from scalping off of other people all day, every day, and trying to get one over on everybody.
Proposal dose.
You're a goddamn angel from heaven. I swear to God. Oh my God. Modelo. Are there more of these?
Yes.
Are there a bunch of these?
Yes. Because you only had one that first night. So there's...
Alright, I'm getting drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe not like wasted, but I'm gonna have like 4 of these tonight. I'm just letting you know. And that's enough for me now. 4 Modelos within an hour or 2 is going to be plenty for me. But I'm going hard, okay? Might even have 5. I need it. I'm going to sit here and stew. And people would go like, Buddhists not supposed to fucking drink. Well, number 1, don't judge me. Number 2, there are plenty of stories of Buddhist monks who transgressed against the Buddha's teachings and were still able to achieve Buddhahood. Buddha is one of them. He loved smoke, drink, laughter, outward expressions, food.
And the amount of times you've gotten drunk recently probably pales in comparison to 20 years ago for you.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not even looking at it from that. I'm looking at it from a purely like trying to have a spiritual perspective. And one of the reasons why I was attracted to Eastern Dharmic religion is that there's not a lot of judgment for transgression built in inherently unless you ultimately transgress. It's like if you completely and utterly just live your life outside of accordance with it and in defiance of it, then yeah, I mean you're gonna reap what you sow. That's the Dharma wheel, right? Or sorry, samsara, which is just an endless wheel of suffering where you're reincarnated endlessly. I don't know if I buy all of the reincarnation stuff.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think you transgressing after committing to the path is coming back to you?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Well, I just notice it. Like I notice the karmic balance of it. And it makes sense within the framework. But I will tell you that as I've gone, I've become more attracted to Taoism specifically than Zen Buddhism. Because it encompasses, like it's kind of an overarching thing with less specifics and
you
more.
feel like the Buddhist prescriptions just don't fit you very well?
No, it's not even that. It's just that I feel drawn back again and again to the Tao in a really strange way. And other like Buddhist texts and Buddhist writers and stuff, I haven't felt that same draw just from the way it's presented. I like that the Tao is in action and stillness, it's nothingness, it encompasses everything in the universe within it. And that's their like higher being, I guess, but it's not a being. And the closer you get to the Tao in your life, that state of inaction is what they call it, then the better off you are. The more of, it's very Buddhist in its philosophy, the more of your desire that you shed. It's really the Tao that taught me the unclench your heart thing. That's Taoist philosophy, not necessarily, might be Buddhist as well. But I haven't read it in a Buddhist text, I read it in the Tao Te Ching.
So, from that perspective, do you think that desire has overtaken you recently and that's why you're being punished by our misfortunes?
No. I'm not blaming everything that's happened on some kind of like karmic fucking blowback. But I do see in smaller things, when I get angry and I decide to lash out in anger in some way, I feel the balance of that. I see why it's damaged me. It might have damaged you. It might have damaged the people that are watching. I might have hurt feelings. And what was it for? For an outburst? You know? That sort of thing. I think about it a lot, but I don't know how to not do outbursts. So it's like, but I've been working on trying to temper it, or at least be aware of the karmic debt I'm incurring when I succumb to my anger, because my anger is rooted in my desire, in this case for fairness and that little fantasy farm, right? And look what it's gotten me. I've chased a red herring for months. I've wasted months with you, you know? To me, that's not like punishing me. I don't feel like there was some hand that reached down and squeezed me because I did something wrong. I feel like philosophically, I put my desire before my best interests or my mind, or in some way I'm out of whack because my desire was at the forefront of this. Even though it's a fucking noble desire. It's not ostentatious. But it is my desire that leads.
Do you think looking at it more logically and practically would be beneficial?
I mean, always. I'm only capable of a certain amount of that when left to my own devices. And that's just the truth about me. Maybe that's a naked truth about me. I may not be the most logically sound dude all the time. That's not what you should come to me for if you're looking for straight robot logic, right? But I understand the value of it, especially when you're looking at something like this, of course. But that's one way to put it. I'm not, like I said, it's not a punishment. It's an awareness of what, it's, you get what you give, right? And all I'm putting out right now is this desire that fulfills me. I want land. I want goat. I want chickens. I want little house that I can fix up. I want little business. I want this, that, right? I want it. I don't need it. I want it. And because I've led with that, it's not bad to want, I don't think. But it is bad to lead with want.
You feel like maybe you've compromised on some of your values because you were putting desire first, and that's why
100%.
you get so frustrated?
Yeah, because I compromise, and then they ask me to bend over again.
Yeah.
And again.
So you think going forward, if for whatever reason we decided renting's still the way to go, that you just would be more patient and be more like the second they overstep, just
Yep.
like, nope.
Goodbye. Click. Next. And if I handled it that way, these last few times would have been different.
It would have saved a lot of time, for
A
sure.
lot of time.
And you wouldn't have gotten
A
as
lot of
angry.
run around. I wouldn't have been as... You see what I'm saying? This makes sense to me, philosophically. And even though I've transgressed, I'm not guilt-laden because I got angry about this and because I allowed my desire to lead me in a way that was contradictory to my very new philosophy or very new spirituality. But when I look at it in retrospect, through the lens of the Tao, I see why the things happened to me happened.
So it's not necessarily that you're being punished for your desire, but that desire, leading with that, opens you up to more punishment.
No, it's not even that. It's just that right, earthly desire. Here's the thing. The reason that the Tao talks about stillness and not wanting, not desiring, right, is because the very act of desiring something for selfish reasons, or even desiring something for what you consider to be non-selfish reasons, puts you at odds with what you are, which is nature. No one man is a fortress or a bulwark against poverty, disease, injustice, government overreach, fascism, all the things I rage against. Does it feed my life to get so angry and invested with things I cannot change? My answer is no. Other than I monetize it. But does it feed my person to be that way? Not a bit.
So yeah, what I was asking is like leading with desire. Maybe not punishment, but it exposes you more to lead with desire.
I suppose you could look at it that way, but that I think is misunderstanding. It's not a cause and effect thing. It's not like ooh, that bounced back on you. It's more when you lead with desires are meant to be broken.
So
and so you
compromises yourself.
It compromises yourself to exactly what happened to me. A compromised you who is led with your deep desire, good, rooted in good as it may be, and rooted in beauty, and an attempt to get to a place where I could be a better Buddhist because I could worship at my temple, which is nature. So, you know what I mean? Like, I spent months tied up in compromising my own values, letting people step on me because I wanted. Because I thought, an insult. I'll take that because I desire something greater. But really all it's done is waste my time and left me insulted.
So, would a better path forward be patience and making what we already have work for us until the golden opportunity presents itself?
No. I don't even, well, maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. All possibilities are on the table without
'Cause
desire.
that is something that would add a lot less stress to our lives if we just made what we have work until the golden opportunity.
A reduction of the stress level of your life is a desire. It really is. Desiring a more simple life to the detriment of your contribution, your business. I mean, the Tao is very clear. You work when you work and you leave your work. So what I'm saying is
So you think it's a bad idea to not have some goal?
because
forward?
the business as it stands, my business is me, right? It's my personality. My personality is impacted negatively in a number of ways being where I'm at. The long hot summers make me a fucking mess. You've seen it. That doesn't feed my business, and that's not good, right? So this is not a desire. This is just hard facts about our business, right? I don't do as well here. I need to get out. Now, I'm not saying I got to run screaming. Obviously, I can make it work here for as long as we need to. But I want us to just, we're not going to do it on a fucking show like this, but we're talking philosophy more than we're talking long-term plans, but you get what I'm saying. We'll go through it together. And I think that us just kind of like waiting could be an option.
Yeah, I'm not saying forever, but I mean, like,
No.
there's certain forces in the world at play where a golden opportunity could present itself, and maybe
It may not.
we've
We can't put our hope in it doing that just because we want it. But it may. You're right. And that's that's why I say it's an option. I do
But you
think
just seemed really dismissive of it, is what
I'm
saying.
sorry. I didn't mean to be dismissive. It is an option.
Yeah.
I just think the other options would be let's fucking put our heads together and brainstorm, throw out areas of the world and the United States that interest, like, let's start big and whittle down. I work super well that way. So we start not even really with rationality. It's just like, where do you think it would be cool to live that might be better environmentally and business and
But us reaching far out seems to have bitten us a number of times.
this is the process. We're not going to land in Switzerland because we both think it would be beautiful there. The idea is put it all out there, including the States. We can't take anything off the table other than stuff that makes absolutely no sense. Like Africa, we're probably not going to move to Africa. The Middle East is probably not a great place to be right now for a couple of American people that are atheists.
But I just wonder if this big picture thinking is what's making it less attainable.
Okay.
Because we're
Well,
getting
the idea
distracted by all these other things.
the idea of starting big is to whittle it down to what's feasible, logical, practical, and feeds the business and feeds us and gets us where we need to be so that my work can be done unimpeded, and then we can leave it. Right?
Because this big picture thinking has led us down several paths that we let die.
That's true, but I'm not talking about complicating it with multi-layer plans. I'm talking about just you and I talking about living and taking the fucking monetary thing out of it for just a minute. And I think what that list looks like when we're just going hog wild with it, Fantasyland, money's not an object, where would you like to live on the globe?
But isn't that still leading with...
What makes sense, right? The idea is you start big and then you whittle it down, but it reveals things like it might help us whittle down to start big. You see what I'm saying? If there's a commonality in a type of place, we might be able to find a place that's got a lot of the same stuff that we like there, but it's not there. It's more attainable. It's here, right? It doesn't have the ocean, but it has everything else we like about Nice and France. I'm not saying we got to go through every fucking city. We start big and broad, We only get specific in the United States, but we include it. Where in the States do you think would work for us? Ideally, where would you like to be? Where do you think would be cool? Make a nice, big, fat list. Then we just go through it with a big marker and we go like, Switzerland, cute, but we're not going to do that.
Really, I think crossing out anything outside of the United States.
Okay. Well, then we won't do that. We won't do that.
Well,
I just thought it might be smart
to
to see
Yeah.
these places we agree on that are not in the United States. Is there something like that here
I see.
that we could attain? I'm not saying we put it on there so that we can really seriously waste weeks considering moving to fucking Grenada.
Okay.
I'm saying we look at it, what appeals to us, just our souls as people. Where do you think you'd be happy being and existing on this planet with no strings attached? That's your options, right? And then once we've got that big fat list, we go like, okay, where in the United States measures up to any of this? You know, or where in the United States did we already choose? We shorten the list, big fat marker going like, well, Switzerland is cool. We'll keep it in our minds, but, you know, mountainous. But Colorado's mountainous though, so question mark. You see what I'm saying? It's a longer process that might reveal things that we don't know about each other and about what we want and where we want to live. You know?
Okay. So I think I see what you're saying now.
Like a brainstorm session, not like a let's consider moving out of state or out of the states.
Yeah. You're saying that because we've been ping-ponging, that maybe starting at a point isn't as productive as narrowing down to a point.
Well, I just don't think outside of what we've been trying to attain, either one of us really knows what exactly we want in a town. We wanted that town. We had plans for that town, but it didn't work. Or at least at this point, we've been rebuffed every time. And I'm not saying that's over. That could be on the table too, but just a different route for us. But my whole reasoning is, and this is just how my brain works, and yours probably work. You're like probably automatically going like, well, we don't even need to talk about Switzerland because we're not going to go there. Well, I know that. But I want to talk about Switzerland because I don't think Switzerland, by the way. Do you?
No.
Okay. So mountainous, like really cold all year round and like that, as beautiful as it is, that's probably not where we're going to get. Right? So we can scratch not only Switzerland off, but once we've made the list, right, then we can narrow down the stuff that's completely retarded and not feasible, the stuff that neither one of us really truly wants. We just like the aesthetic of it. And it'll help me at least, maybe if not you, boil down what it is I want. Because I think I know what I want, but I think it's out in fucking Madeira Acres. And I think another family owns it now. You know? Like not the one we left. I'm talking about the one I grew up in, basically, that one was going to be a surrogate for. Right? That's my desire to deal with. And because of it, because I was raised in this idyllic environment that I've been trying my whole adult life to recreate that fucking feeling, I've led myself down a cuckold path of just being rebuffed because people don't get that anymore. People of my stature could get that back in my parents' day. But things have gotten so much worse that I don't get it. My generation doesn't get it, and the next ones surely don't fucking get it. But at least they won't waste the balance of their lives knowing it, not knowing it. Because I've chased that stupid dream, and I don't even know if that's what I want. I don't even know if you told me, honey, I'm a secret baroness in Italy, and my father gave me $1 billion, and I bought that family out and every family around them, and you own your childhood now. I don't even know I'd want it. That's the problem, right? It's a dream. Too much of a dream for me. And I think you're different. I think you're more grounded, and I need you more involved in this, is what I'm telling you. Because I think
like I've been too permissive to your...
No, I don't think permissive is the word. I think you understand that me being happy is a boon, but I think you've left yourself behind. I don't think you would have chosen the place we're moving to. Not that I'm saying that you've subverted yourself. I think you would have been happy there. But is that where you would have chosen?
Well, I think we just have different things. Like I'm more of someone that can find something to appreciate regardless of where I'm at.
Well, this whole idea that I have of this perfect place is not something that I've ever heard come out of you. It comes out of me.
Yeah.
Right?
'Cause, like,
Because in my mind, I close my eyes and it's that horse pasture and it's that house. And that house is, it may as well burn down. It's owned by somebody that never wants to sell it, as far as I know. And as far as I should be concerned, that dream is dead. I'm not going to recreate it. Even if we got a nice little plot of land up in Crescent, I think I could learn to love it there. And I don't think it would be necessarily the worst thing I ever did, given my business. But I don't think I'd find what I'm looking for there. Because I'm looking for something that's gone. I'm looking for my childhood again. That's the fucked up thing. This is why when Dale, my doctor, looked at me, my psychologist looked at me, and he said, everything is psychology, Paul. And I said, bullshit. He was cool with me being like that. He wanted me to do that. He was like, really? I was like, yeah, bullshit. He was like, name something that isn't psychology. I was like, the moons of Uranus. Right? He was like, Uranus isn't a funny word to you? You didn't like think about maybe what you said after you said it? I was like, well, yeah, but what do you know about Uranus and its moons? I think it's an icy body, you think? He was like, so you know nothing. You know the name of it, right? What you know about it is what your brain has processed about it from tiny little tidbits of information that you've picked up. It's a psychological construct that you call Uranus. And it's out there theoretically somewhere. But if I asked you to, he said, the sun's now. Could you point out in the sky where Uranus would be relative to the horizon right now? It's not like he was knowledge checking me. He was just letting me know that, like, me being, bringing that up was a psychological construct that I thought of as non-psychological, but everything I knew about it was a psychological construct, right? Not to get too far afield, but that becomes so apparent to me as I go forward, because I have revelation after revelation after revelation after revelation in my life now. I really do. But it's all just shit that I was like, fuck. Basic. Even stuff that people have told me. I'm not the first person to come up with the idea that I've been chasing that little farm my whole life.
Because here's where I'm coming from. I've given more deference to you because I feel like I'm not full of dissatisfaction like
Right.
you are, because I don't yearn for a lot.
And that's fine. But when I said I need you, I didn't mean you haven't been involved. You clearly have been. I meant I need your logic to pull my balloon head down out of the clouds. And we need to find something that works. Not something ideal, something that we can make ideal. Because I believe that's out there. But it may not be in a place that we necessarily would have thought of. It may not be in a place that we immediately consider ideal, but I believe it. I believe that's out there. And I believe if we just go through it and we find it, we can do that. But I don't think we put a fucking timer on it anymore. I think we just give up on this, like, we're going to move this year shit. It's probably going to happen. We're staying here. If something happens and we get to, great. But I ain't betting no fucking money on it. I'm done. I'm done telling these people, oh, I'm about to move, and then I get rug pulled. Tired of feeling that happen to me. It sucks. You grew up before 9/11. The world you knew is gone forever. I know that. I know. I know. I'm aware, dude. And what's left is just... there ain't much. Hoo-ha. Okay. Oh, man. I feel awful. I'm not even gonna fucking lie, bro. I feel terrible. But I guess I fucking bought and paid for it, so I may as well stew in it. How do you live in keeping with the Tao, living in a society that is not in keeping with the Tao? The Tao has the answers for that. The Tao talks about that. I can't quote it verbatim yet. I'm new to it. But I would recommend that you read the Tao or get an audiobook of the Tao. There are a number of different translations too. They're all really good. The ones that are closest to the original translations and texts and stuff tend to be more like informative for me, but they're easier to listen to when kind of like adjusted for more modern language. But the Tao talks about letting go of your desire to inflict any of your prescriptions upon the society that you live in. You live in accordance but apart. You do the work that you have to do, and then you leave not just your work, but that whole society behind, and you return to the Tao. And I'm a baby fish, dude. I'm not trying to preach to you guys, bro. I just started adhering to this. I'm wishy-washy still on whether I'm a Taoist or a Buddhist at this point. I don't know. I don't think it matters. I don't even fucking know, bro. I don't want to... You guys are sharing your fucking woes, and I'm so sorry that I'm not reading them. Like people that you know that have been fucked over and shit. I understand that that comes from a very human thing, but I just can't. My heart bleeds for other people. It's not just me that makes me sad. It makes me sad that this is what it takes now. You got to let people sniff your ass out like this. And you work hard for your money and you worked your whole life, and this is how you get treated. And this is just the way it is now. You got to just let somebody traipse through your business. It's like you got no privacy. Everybody's a little fucking investigator now. It's like I don't know what to do, man. I don't think I'll ever find what I'm looking for. The ideas that I'm chasing now is to stop looking so hard at certain things, to let go of those desires. You guys legit saw an epiphany in me tonight, bro. I'm not even joking. To connect My desire for that old house, which is gone, to what's going on with me right now is just so fucking poignant to me. And it's so true. And I have not let go of that place, and I have to let it go. I have to let go of my desire for that place. It is gone. It's a dream within a dream at this point. It's a memory. And, yeah, I don't know. Guys, I'm going through it, you know. It's not just this shit. It's just, you know, knowing where you fit as you get older is kind of hard for a dude that's walked the path that I've walked. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's different. Right? How much reasonability do I have to provide? How much reasonability is it before it becomes exploitative? I don't know any of these things because I don't think anybody that raised me knew these things. I think my dad had hard boundaries and my mom didn't. Not that that makes either of them a bad or good person. That's just, I think I'm confused. I think it's a gap, you know? How much can I just be a phone slamming, fucking uncompromising shitheel? And how much do I have to subvert my fucking, you know, pride and personal liberty and all of that shit to somebody else's will to just get something done, you know? No, that's all right. Don't be sorry for me. I'm a big fat fuck, and there are people starving to death right now, freezing to death right now, baking to death in the sun right now. Don't feel sorry for me, bro. Stuff your sorries in a sag. I'm not here for your fucking... I'm not trying to say... I understand, and I appreciate the sentiment. But literally, I'm okay. I'm bitching. I'll be fucking real with you right now. I'm bitching. Or Gen X, the contradicted generation? No. No. See, that's another weird thing that I feel like I can't speak with much authority on because I got one foot in Gen... I'm literally a cusper. I was born between them, like right on the edge of them. So I'm Gen X on my left foot and Gen, you know, millennial on my right. Gen Y2K on my right. People are like, whoa, dude, you're a millennial. And I was like, dude, I was 20 when the year 2000 came about. I don't think that qualifies me.
One of those house spiders moved in. Big one.
One of those boys?
Yeah, one of these boys.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
But he's a big boy. He might catch some flies.
Good. Yeah,
all
man.
Up in the corner. He's a big boy.
All right, good. Dude, a house spider is good luck. I believe that shit, bro.
And we have high ceilings. It's not like he's gonna bug us.
Dude, yeah, get them fucking... Dude, because you know what'll follow us in and out of this fucking poorly sealed door? Flies, mosquitoes, little fucking, like, earwigs and little bugs and shit. Anything that comes in, that guy will be doing... He'll be doing the rounds with cricket. Mm-hmm. So, fuck yeah, that's good. You sure it's the same guys, though?
Yeah, you can go look. You can come look with me.
No, it's okay. Now. I trust you. You know what's what.
Long, spindly legs, much, much longer than its body.
Small body.
Yes.
Big, spindly legs. Yep. That's a house spider.
They look just like these guys, just bigger.
Yep. Bro, I don't think I can get that deep with you, Matt. It's a great question. Is the American dream dead? You know, I can't catastrophize to that level, bro. It's a personal fucking insult, basically, and waste of time, which I think is a greater insult that I've suffered over the last 6 months. You know, and I have to contextualize it and let it pass because it's over and I've made a new path. I don't know exactly where that path goes yet.
But it's not going to be
But it's not going to
doing
be
the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
exactly. We've decided on a new path. And what that is, that'll be a conversation for me and my wife to have off stream. But the point being is, I have to make peace with that at some point, and I can't catastrophize about the American dream and do what I would rather do, which is not get any more worked up tonight. You know, I mean, is it indicative? Sure, maybe it's indicative of the fact that the American dream is an illusion, has been for maybe ever. But I can't just connect the dots. I can't extrapolate my suffering out right now. My suffering is my own. I own it. I let it pass over me and through me. You know, fear is the mind killer. All of that.
Because ultimately, even whether it is or it isn't, that doesn't change what we have to do or not do.
Yeah.
We can't, like, rebuild it.
No. See, this is very, very Tao. You're speaking Tao without knowing it, because that principle is central to the philosophy. The moment, the inaction and the letting pass of action, right? So you're absolutely right. We're on the back end of a bunch of actions. They led us down a path that we're not happy with. Mm-hmm. Neither one of us is to blame for it, I don't think, but maybe I'm more to blame for leading us down that path than others, and I own it. It was a mistake made with a noble purpose, but it was a mistake. And I'm not going to be one of these dumb fucking people that chases a mistake until I'm dead. So we're going to do something different. I don't know what that is. I'm going to mend my wounded pride.
Yeah, like, we don't have a deadline. We can pause as long as we need to pause to figure it out.
Right.
It could be a short pause. It could be a long pause.
Yep.
But a pause is in order.
Yep. But, you know, I feel better having said all of that than I would have felt if I would have just spun out on that comment, because I was that close to just going like, yes, the dream is dead. I could have that conversation tomorrow maybe, but tonight I just want to chill, man. I've already laid some heavy shit at you guys' doorstep, and I understand why the shit coming back at me is heavy. But that one was a little too heavy. I'm willing to pick up a rock that's slightly less heavy than that. How about them cubbies? Yeah, how about them cubbies, man? They have they won a fucking series yet or not? Bro, you're asking the wrong kind of guy. I'm not like a scholar on Buddhism, but as I understand Buddhism, there are different types of adherents within Buddhism, and Buddhism itself is part of what they call dharmic religion, which includes Hinduism and a number of other Indian religions, Buddhism, Taoism, and a number. I think it's what's the one that's in Japan? Shinto. Which is another, it's kind of like an offshoot of Shinto Buddhism, is Buddhism with Japanese ancestor worship flavor and politics, you know? So anyway, the idea of Buddhism being this giant monolith that you can like talk about in that way is kind of like ignoring the fact that it is part of a rich historical tradition of dharmic religion in the region. It is one of many. And there are many different adherences within Buddhism, some of them strictly religious and some of them strictly secular. And I don't really, I don't know, I don't really concern myself with where I land on that spectrum. It's not important to me right now. Like, I don't feel the desire to shave my head and join a monastery, so I'm not going to be one of the most strict adherents of, Theravada Buddhism. But I'm also not necessarily looking to go to one of these like atheist groups that just takes the parts of the Tao that they like and goes like, yeah, man, it's like atheism or whatever. That's only, I know that's like a caricature, but you get my drift. It's a spectrum, and I don't really care where I land on it. I'm not looking to join a group right now. It's a journey I'm taking with me and my wife and you guys when I choose to share things with you. My wife's not going down the road with me, but she's there with me as I do it, and we talk about it, and that's cool. I don't need anybody to come with me. I'm not looking for something to recruit people into. I'm looking for something that helps me be better at managing my mind and my emotions, which are clearly out of control a lot of the times, in various ways. And so far, I found a lot of fucking wisdom in it, and I'm going to continue digging, and I'm going to continue doing it until I find no more wisdom, and I think it's stupid. But, if that happens, I'll walk away. No harm, no foul. I don't know if you mentioned this already, but if you tried doing it, yeah, I do meditation a lot, constantly. In fact, my kind of walk towards Buddhism started with mindfulness meditation, just non-religious, secular mindfulness meditation, which I learned many, many years ago in my 20s as a way to deal with my completely rampaging at that point and out of control mental problems. And it's something that stuck with me. I still practice in private constantly. I do my mindfulness meditation, whether I can get a minute or 10 or 20 or an hour. It changes from day to day, but I've practiced mindfulness meditation with deliberate intent since my 23, 24. So it's not something that's like brand new to me on the meditation side of things. Self-awareness is a big part, and you seem to have a measure of that. Just a skosh. Maybe not enough, but you know what? I'm growing into it. I will tell you this, man. If you went back to 22-year-old Paul, I would have been pretty insufferable to a lot of you based on how you judge some of the ways I am now. You can take some of the things that people don't like about me, and not that that matters to me, but it matters on a fucking, to you maybe. Like those of you that have a feeling about me one way or the other. But it's like you would, if you don't like me or kind of like, I don't know about this dude, you would have been, well, take that and triple it. Bro, I was I don't know, dude. Looking back over my life, I have a lot of more perspective now. Just like in the last year, but in the last 10 years, I've really like been slapped in the face with the wet trout of fucking life, right? I'm like, whoa, okay. And I've gained a level of perspective on myself, not a total overview. I still think there's a journey happening, but I was not the greatest guy. And that's a tough one for me. Because I have this picture of myself in my head as like, Paul's a good guy. You know what? Paul might be a little crazy, but solid guy. Well, that might be true of me now. It wasn't always true of me. And I have this in my mind that my whole life is just filled with all these people just trampled on me. Now, sometimes I've been trampled on. Sometimes I've been hard done by. I'm not saying that. But it's just like you remember those. You don't remember the time you skated by on your privilege. You skated by on your fucking money. You skated by on this, that, or the other, right? Being unaware of the balance of things has been a great fucking disservice in my life, I guess. Hi, Argentina. I hope you're well and safe. I know that there's a lot of unrest in your country, and I hope that you and your family are safe. I mean, I know things aren't as bad as the media portrays it, but I do know that there is danger there, and I hope, just honestly, when I meet somebody from a place on the world, I just felt like I needed to tell you, I hope you are safe and your family is safe. Okay, sir? Where's TJ? I don't know. He's chilling, probably. I mean, we did a lot of recording today. We did 6 hours of fucking straight recording today. I did like a big long stream before, so it's gonna be another fucking patented Paul Zigo 11 hours in front of the camera day. But I love it. So, what do you want me to do? Not do what I love? Fuck you. If there was another way, and it just kind of like barreled through it. That won't happen again. Not this time. I love you. Wow. Hello, chair. And VP window. Chair and window. Oh shit, I forgot the beer. Fuck. I knew I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. The beer. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. All right, baby, I love you. Okay, this is better. Now I'm prepared. Down the hatch it goes. Slapped by the wet trout of life, yeah. No, I mean, there's uncertainty and there's certainty that comes with aging. That's been my experience so far. It's like you start to think about, am I? Did I? Would I? Should I? Could I? All these things about yourself that you assumed you knew, you start really sussing it out, and you start really thinking about, like, how was I in that, and what did I do here? I'm not trying to paint like I was some sort of villain. I've been a good guy. Like I said, I meant what I said earlier. I don't fuck people over. I've never have. That's never been my aspiration in life, and it's never been my output in life. I've been a good and faithful employee, and I take my job seriously when I have one. And, you know, I try and treat people with respect. There are times when I've horribly disrespected people, various different times in my life, going all the way back to being a child, of course. But I don't live my life, my personal life especially, in constant disrespect. But my online life and my personal life collide. And online, I allow myself to succumb sometimes to the darker angels of my nature because it's part of my performance. It would be if I were on stage as well. But it leads me to be meaner than maybe I should be. And that, I think, breeds in some people a lot of enmity towards me that's just pointless. Because I don't think it's necessarily reflective of me overall as a person. Although I'm willing to own my flaws, both then and now. You know, I'm an impulsive guy, I'm an angry guy, I'm quick to anger. I have a pretty notorious temper. I'm very razor sharp when it comes to being mean and incisive and witty at times when I'm angry. It's one of the ways I channel my anger, is to make somebody feel puny. I've done this a number of times over my career. Sometimes, you know, maybe the person deserved it. Other times, maybe they didn't. But otherwise, you know, I try not to make that belittling a person constantly part of my fucking job now. And I've done a pretty good job of omitting that from my life, at the very least, in my job. But, you know, I own my past, and I own my past before I was a public figure. You know, before I was a public figure, I was not a very nice person sometimes. I could be irrational. All of the things you see in me now, you know, were there, but maybe a lot of the ones that seem to be what people complain about me, my paranoiac kind of thinking, my irrationality at times, my tendency towards conspiracy thought. All of these things are true about me, but were way more true about me 24 years ago, you know? As an older guy, I've mellowed a lot, and I've gained a lot of what I'd like to think is life experience and perspective about at least myself piloting the meat body that is Paul's ego, you know? And I try and move forward to not be, but it's a work in progress, you know? I don't have it all figured out at 45. That's why when people come to me and go like, at what point do you think you really figured it all out, or whatever? At what point do you feel like you... Sometimes people will ask me shit like that, and I'm just like, dude, fucking, I'll tell you when I get there. I don't think I'll ever get there, is the point. But I'm a work in progress, and that's okay too. I think that I've gotten noticeably better as a human being over the last 10 years of my life. I think I have a better perspective on myself as a human being in my past. And I think I've challenged this idea that Paul's a good guy. Well, maybe I am now. Maybe I'm not the best guy now. I can still be angry, irrational, impulsive. All these things are part of my self at this point. But I am challenging those things to the best of my ability, and I hope to eradicate as much of it from my life as I can. You know? But my work and my life are two different things, you see. You know, I really do think that the Tao is super wise about work. It really resonated with me as a person who puts work central to their, like, ethic. Says, you know, a follower of the Tao does his work, and then he leaves and goes home. He doesn't bring his work home with him. He separates his life from his work. He does what's needed to provide, and then he stops. And I don't do that now. I live the life that I present to you guys, which is a guy that's like angsty and wound up a lot of the time about politics and injustice, and, you know, I don't know, man. Well, you stream so regularly, what keeps you motivated and dedicated to it? I don't know, man. All I can tell you is that it's not something new. It's like in me, I've had this need to blather on. My mind is a fucking circus, dude. I'm not even joking. And I get lost in the sauce, and when I spin out in my own mind, I tend to go inward, right? I spin out my own mind. My mind sometimes will give me the real fucking deal quickly, and I'm thankful for that, but sometimes it gives me the fucking wacky, goofy business. And sometimes I'm not in the mental state where I'm prepared to challenge that in the right way, and I'll just spin out. And so yeah, bro. There's something in me that's fed by it. Maybe it's just busy work in some way, but I do love it. I really do. But I don't know if I have the answer to why I'm so prolific with it. Why I'll work all day and then come here and do a long ass stream like this. I don't fucking know the answer to that, bro. I'm not gonna pretend to tell you I know the answer to that. I think there are people like me out there. I think we're all driven by a need to be understood, and maybe I'm driven by that harder than you are. Not that that makes me better or you worse or whatever the fuck, or you better, but just saying, maybe that's more important to me than it is you. This desire to make sense of my fucking mishmash of philosophy and ethic and political belief and personality construct. Would the stream be different if you had 1 million subs? Probably, but I don't know how. Like, in terms of my approach to it, if I got 1 million subs doing this, I'd just keep doing this, you know? So it wouldn't be much different in that. I might be, you know, be able to do it in cooler places and show you guys some cool stuff every once in a while that you may not see. But fundamentally, I don't really, because I've never, like, that's the thing, is I'm talking about, like, myself when I'm in my 20s, like, he's a different guy. That guy's still here. I'm still him. You would recognize me, trust me. But it's just like, in terms, what I'm talking about is my knowledge about myself and my ability to check some of my darker impulses, right? Or some of my more destructive impulses, right? That's all I'm talking about. The same guy is sitting here, right? Just a mellower and you know, more confident, more comfortable in his skin incarnation of that guy. I gotta take this fucking bun down, bro. This man bun is choking. Dude, I gotta let my scalp breathe. I had it up for all day, dude. Right after I finished my thing today, I went and I think I did all our shows today with my hair up, and I'm just like, ugh. Oh, that feels good. I look like a Yeti, but God, that feels fucking good. Okay, well, let's fix this up to the extent that we can. This is a do a little finger combing, and that'll probably be fine. There we go. Okay. Whoa, a little bit. That's better. That wallflower. Yeah. Man, I ain't changed, but I know I'm not the same. Yeah. Dude, that song. What is that song? That is, so long ago I don't remember when. That's when they say I lost my only friend. They said she died easy of a broken heart disease as I listened to the cemetery trees. I can't remember what that fucking song was called. In the Middle, isn't it? One headlight. We can drive it on with one headlight. Right? Is that the same song? Yeah, it is. Well, I'm glad you enjoy them, dude. And I really do. You know what, dude? I've been meaning to do this a couple of different times. I'm just going to do it now because I really, and this is not like this, I'll give you the speech, right? This doesn't come with any obligation for you to ever use the powers. This is just me saying thanks for your dedication to making the streams better with good comments and stuff. And if you want to ban people because they piss you off, now you've got the power to do it. But ultimately, it's so that I notice you easier amongst the crowd, okay? Thank you for being a person that contributes to and doesn't subtract from the environment that makes up this show. I appreciate your contributions and your questions, and the fact that you never get mad if I don't answer one of your questions or I miss one. You're just a cool cat. I don't know. I think you're from Greenland or Iceland or something. Is what you said to me. And but I guess that doesn't matter. But you're a cool cat. Yeah, Iceland, right? See, I remembered. You now hold Excalibur. Yeah, no. I always try and tell people that, like, I may call on a mod or something, but dude, I know I'm not paying you shit. So for me, it's just conferring the honor of being fucking up and out. Paul, what do you utilize to listen to music? Spotify. Spotify and YouTube music shit. That's what I do. Mostly Spotify these days. Modification. Doodle-a-doo. Yeah. Well, you do a great job, man. I mean, it's not a job, but your participation is noted, and I appreciate it, man. I will give you this, but one day I may call on you for... Yeah. I'll give you this wrench today, but one day I may call on you on a favor. On that day, I'll need you to grant that favor. Ha, I get that movie reference. There's not enough weed in the world. There's not enough weed in the world. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or if you're a girl. There's not enough weed in the world. There's not enough beer in the world. There's not enough beer in the world to drown my sorrows until tomorrow. There's not enough beer in the world. I just wrote that, bro. I'm a songwriter, bro. That's the summer banger right there, bro. Get out of here, Taylor Swift. Not anymore. Death is but a fucking great mystery. Now, I used to fear death a lot, though, bro. And maybe I still do, a commensurate amount. But, like, no. I don't really get fucked up about death no more. Dying, though. I get fucked up about that. But death, at that point, the event is over, you know? You ever been flat broke in your life, and did it teach you any lesson? Oh, hell yeah, bro. A couple times in my life I was tits out. And did it teach me any lesson? Nah, I mean, not one that I didn't learn from my parents. When your tits up, you just dig out. You know, I just worked through it. I worked it out. I made it work. I fucking made sacrifices, moved money around. I got it done. But yes. Yeah, I've been negative bank account several fucking points in my, you know, late teens, early 20s. You know, I got that kind of like stability under control in my late 20s, early 30s. But yeah, dude, I've been tits up a bunch of times in my life. And it's like, I don't even know if the world in which I dug myself back up after going tits up even exists anymore, but I did it. If it's true that that world is gone now, I took advantage of the world that used to exist and I dug myself out of the hole. You know? And so I don't fear it because I know it's manageable. It's not my, like, it's not that I don't fear it. I respect it as a thing, as something that has to remain on my mind, but I don't fear the eventuality of it. If something happens, I know what to do. And if that doesn't work, then God help me, you know? I'm done. I'm cooked. But I don't think I will be. I'm a hardworking person. I'm a very driven person. I don't give up on shit. Unless I know that that's the best recourse for me. But like, I latch on like a pit bull. I want to get shit done. And so, you know, I don't worry about that. A lot of people worry about that for me, you know? It's a common question I get when people ask me, what do you do for a living? And I tell them I'm a podcaster. I've been doing it for 10 years. They go like, whoa, you ever think about what's going to happen if that fucking ends? And I'm like, no, not really, because that could have fucking ended like 90 times. Some of them you guys know about, some of them you don't. But I've always navigated the tricky waters of keeping that from dying. And I think that after 10 years, I trust myself to keep it going. But do I ever think about the eventuality that it might happen outside of my control, or that I might, you know, maybe I fucking lose my voice. You know, I get fucking throat cancer from all the darts I rip. And I've got to get one of those like, hey everybody, it's Paul Zingo. How's everyone doing today? You know what I mean? I know there are better ways now, but maybe that just ruins me.
Well, some people listen to fucking RFK.
That's true. And he's no worse or better than that.
Yeah. And there's all these AI things now. You just have to learn how to touch type a little faster, maybe.
Yeah, true. I mean, I could learn that, though. An old dog can learn new tricks, despite what old fuddy-duddies will tell you to make excuses for their ineptitude.
And you could even make it a bit like AI Paul here.
Yeah. Dude, I just had a memory when I said, teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
You ever have that happen when you'll say a turn of phrase and then all of a sudden, or do you have memory like that just flies at you from nowhere sometimes, or not?
Sometimes, but not from that necessarily.
Like a scent or a phrase or like an event sometimes, or like a I don't know, like a fucking something on the TV or a song.
Yes, yeah.
Triggers like a memory that just comes like popping, you know?
I know that Kick Kick Push song triggered me a little bit for a while.
Kick. Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah.
Kick, push,
Yeah.
coast. Why?
Because it was something that my ex listened to a lot.
The ex I know about?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like his kind of music at all.
Well, that's what it was. I mean, he went to prison for selling ecstasy.
Oh, okay.
Or
So
acid, yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, shit. I just wouldn't have pegged him just from like, you know, well, you've told me about him. I would have pegged him as more of like a fucking like Creedence Clearwater Revival / fucking AC/DC guy.
You know, I mean, he made his bones doing rave shit.
Mm. Was he a madman? Was he his name wasn't Bobby Balderrama, was it?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, he was a drug dealer during the heyday of the raves.
Yeah, that late 90s, early 2000s rave scene was popping.
So he liked him some certain kinds of old house like that. But I think I'm over it now.
You think you could like no, dude? Because I have you're perfectly fine to harbor a song. Is there a couple that I I've gotten to where I can tolerate them, but I would never put it on myself. Like, you're not to the point where you would throw that song on.
No.
But if it comes on, it's not going to trigger you out of your mind
Yeah.
like it used to. Yeah. Was that like one of his favorite songs or something? He liked Lupe Fiasco? Fuck, I'll shut up. Dude, I'm taking Lupe off my fucking shit, bro. I didn't know. Dude, I like Lupe, but I'll take him off my rap list for you, baby. Lupe is fucking dead to me now, bro. No, I'm kidding. I will be, I will skip past Kick Push for you, though. Did you listen to all Lupe shit?
No, that was just one of them.
He just liked that song. Okay, so I don't have to get rid of all Lupe. I get intense deja vu very occasionally, though. And I've done it, like, and whenever I do get it, it's ultra strong. And it's happened to me since I was a kid, but it's only like maybe once every couple of years I'll get a real strong, whoa, deja vu.
See, you're more visual than I am. I'm more about, like, maybe a flash of something that happened, or like something I was told.
I mean, I get that too, but I definitely, everything in my mind, because I have like, I used to think everybody had the same thing, but I can picture shit in my mind, I can hear shit in my mind, I can replay conversations, I can see people's faces from 10 years ago. Because I have these, like, not photographic, but like snapshot type memories, and my brain fills in the blanks, and that's how my brain works. It creates like a movie, like a head movie. Bye, mama. I'll see you in my head movies. But this head movie will make my eyes rain. Simple Jack. Anybody? No, but it really is. It is like that for me. Not with everything. Not every thought. When I'm conceptualizing something, though, 100% I'm visualizing it up here and I'm speaking what I'm seeing.
Hello, D.
Hear a voice in your head when you think? Sometimes, yeah. I'll talk to myself, too. I was very happy to find out that that wasn't proof that I was schizophrenic or something.
Yeah, have you heard of the people that just don't have an inner voice at all?
Yeah.
Even when they're reading, they don't.
Yeah, that's fucked. Isn't that like people that aren't socialized and raised?
No, it's just some people just don't have an inner voice.
That's sociopathy then or something?
No, it's not. It's not. It's just like a quirk some people have. It's not like indicative of any particular thing. Some people
So wait a
just
minute.
don't have an inner
Is
voice.
having it or not having it the quirk, though? That's the question.
It seems to be a minority, but there's just some people that just don't
they
have
ain't
an
got
inner
it.
voice. Yeah.
They don't hear a voice when they read.
They
don't
don't like
context-
hear their own thoughts.
They don't hear their own thoughts. They don't have any audio cues that they kind of retreat to in their head and can remember. That's weird to me, but like I understand people work different.
But yeah, it's like it's not, as far as they know, indicative of something different. Some people just don't got it.
Must be nice. I mean, sometimes it's nice, and sometimes it's like probably a detriment, I would imagine. That inner voice is like a friend when you have none. It's never judges you, and if it does, its judgment means nothing. You know, I mean, I use it a lot, and it's also part of the narrative that happens in my head when I'm. Dude, there are some times when I'm on the show, I'll get on a bit, right? And Paul's not there anymore. I'm not talking about like an impersonation. I'm talking about I'm spinning out thinking about like, dude, on our show it's something crazy always, like how big would King Kong's dick be and would he be, you know what I mean, whatever it is, right? And I get on a bit where I think something is funny. Bro, I will go into this mode where you guys are hearing stream of consciousness. And it fits me because my stream of consciousness is often funny. But you guys are not hearing Paul at a certain level. I'm there, obviously in my thoughts, but I'm not like consciously, I get so into it that my whole brain is engaged on what's going on up here in my head movies. And you guys are just hearing it. You know what I mean? And I love that. That feels good.
Yeah, you do tune out a fair amount.
Oh my God, you ain't the first person to tell me that.
Like, there's times where, like, you just... Like, there's times where you've been really high and it's like something that was just said just doesn't exist.
It ain't even just me high.
Yeah.
That was me as a kid.
Yeah.
It is 100% a byproduct of the fact that I have a very insistent mind. And I don't like to put it in terms that are like over dramatize it, but oftentimes it'll just yank me away because of some obscure reference that I pulled either from you or some other stimulus coming in or somebody else trying to talk to me. And it's like, I'm not there for a second. And I
Like,
typically...
I've kind of learned a little bit. Like, I can tell now when you're just not hearing me at all, even if you do respond automatically.
Oh my God, that's so fucked up. I'm so sorry. That's fucked up.
I've learned now, like, if I say something and I can tell that you're in somewhere else.
Yeah. It is something that is literally like, I'm glad that you're able to like say it to me and that you've contextualized it as not an attack against you, because I am telling you that has fucked me up with more friends and even more relationships. Not the whole thing, but like that has been something that echoes. And it's something I'm way better now. It used to be constant with me. And I don't know if it's undiagnosed something else. I don't like to diagnose myself with shit. But I've tried to explain it to people sometimes. I think my mom even like took me to the doctor one time when I was like a tween. And he asked me some questions and you know, I don't know what my diagnosis was, but my mom would tell me now if it was something crazy. So I'm assuming the doctor said he's just a teenage boy. But like I tried to describe at that point, I remember that conversation with the doctor. Sometimes I'm here, and sometimes there's this huge pull away from what's going on. It has nothing to do with the person, my interest in my real life. There is a reference that I have to spin out. That's how I think about it to myself.
But you're very, I think, simple-minded too. Like, it happens, like, if you're about to type something, the whole world is gone.
It's gone. I have to do it. Right. And there's other things, too. Like, other things that get me that way. Yeah, you're right. Certain tasks, you may as well not bother talking to me. Because I can't be there even if I want to be there. Yeah, you're right. It's crazy. It's crazy to pick your brain apart, but it's fun. I gotta pee. I got a beer going through me. You want a beer or anything?
No, I got my whiskey sours.
right.
I'm on my second whiskey sour.
Oh, sick. All right, cool. Make up your mind, little dino.
I kind of felt like some pizza.
Got a little piece here.
You made it tinier.
I did. Well, I cut a piece in half because I didn't want a whole big ass piece. Stomach is a little flip floppy. It always is when I get fucking horse fucked. My life.
Yeah, I think that's part of why sometimes you get confused. Cause like I'm kind of the opposite. Like you'll see me like rip my attention away from something.
Yeah, immediately. I just think we're built different in that way. Sometimes, you know, like if I'm at a task that requires a lot of brain power, there's an excuse there, but sometimes I'll just be talking. Happens here. We'll be talking about something, I'll think of something, oh, that would be funny. And then all of a sudden it's been like a minute and I've just been like, and people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah. I usually, like, I've, one of the things I've learned to do is like bust myself out of it. And usually I'm pretty good at catching myself when I'm doing it long enough to like at least respond. But when I was a kid, I used to just like fucking like, PJ, PJ, PJ. And I'd be like, oh, huh? What? And then because I was so in it and because I can go back to it so easily, I want you to. Did you hear what I said? Huh? Yeah. What did I say? Fucking, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? That got me in a lot of trouble a lot of times in my life.
You almost seem like concerned by how opposite I am of you sometimes with that one thing.
Well, you have to understand, baby. Not to get too deep, but like, you're different from anybody I've ever been to. I know that sounds like I've been with a lot, you know the people I've been with. All of them, type A, super assertive. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you're not, or a good thing that you're not. I'm just saying, like, you are different than I'm used, that I don't have any experience dealing with somebody who's calm and able to contextualize as you. In the context of like a romantic relationship, I don't know how to do it. I love it, but sometimes it's jarring. You know, I'm sure it is for you too. But we clearly love each other enough to put that aside, so great. I think it serves us as a couple too. Like you know, water and fire or whatever you want to say. Two different elements. They're not opposed to one another. They balance one another. They make, you know, I like that. I think about us like that. It's really how it's played out in my.
I can see
experience.
how I kind of come off as weirdly intense sometimes, shifting.
I mean, it's not weird to me. It's just different for me. And so it's hard for me to rationalize it out, right? With other people, I feel like I see, it's not that I see no spark of recognition, commonness with you. It's like, I was just raised in an area, and I think I drew a certain type of person to me my whole life. And that type of person was loud, boisterous, quick to anger, touchy. Independent, but like to a fault. Super defensive, super quick to take offense at something that isn't aimed at them. I'm not saying these are all negatives. I'm just saying, like, that's been my experience in my life. And you know, from the very beginning, you defied all of it. And I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed learning how to, you know, how to coexist with someone who thinks differently than I do and who reacts differently than I do. And And I've come to appreciate it as like one of the most solid things about you and I is that we're, like I said, we're complementary forces of nature. One doesn't overpower the other. They kind of, it's good. Right, D? From the salty sea? There's no crumbs. I'm sorry, bud. I ate the whole pizza.
But Dave,
I know.
not even one cheese.
I don't even think one cheese or a crumb even fell because I was hungry. And I ate the whole thing. But when I go eat another one, there's a good chance of a cheese. Or a chunk of crust that goes wayward and falls out of the beard, and then you will get your niblet. I assure you.
I know you don't think that Dinor is maybe as attached to you as other dogs you've had, but I'll tell you, all of his anxiety at the vet was 100% because he was away from you.
Oh, really?
Because he wasn't like mean to the vet.
No, he's just
like,
a wimpy little ass about it because I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'll just have to start going with you when we take him to the vet. Today wouldn't have worked, but we'll just start booking it on days that I don't have anything because that's just like putting him and everybody else mostly even worse through. He's just such a wimp, dude. He's attached to my asshole.
Yeah.
And I love him for it. Because I love him the same way. I don't feel right when he's not around, but it's like I don't sit around the whole time Dinor's at the vet going and being all high strung and nervous and shaky about every damn thing, right?
Yeah, he liked all the other dogs.
I know he does. He likes people. But if Dad's not within like earshot or eye shot, he gets fucking out of sorts. How old is Dinor? He's 8. Dinor's getting up there into fucking, like, I love it. I've just said this before. He and I are functionally like the same age now. We're in the same season of our life for the first time. First time I met Dinor, he was in the spring of his life, and I was in the summer of mine. And now we both find ourselves at autumn,
He's a middle-aged man.
Yeah, he's a middle-aged guy. It's autumn. It's autumn for both of us. We see eye to eye. Well, one eye of his to both my eyes and the other one of his over there. But we see one eye of his to 2 eyes of mine at this point. I cook a pack of steakums, seasoned salt, pepper, season over a bag of rice. What's steakums? Do you know?
Seasoning thing? I don't know. This guy's maybe should just be banned for
nonsense. I'm going to go ahead and call in a tactical nuke because that's the second time he's typed it and I've really tried to make it make sense.
And it's just not. And it's not because we're drunk. It just doesn't make sense.
Oh, I'm not, well, I mean...
It's apropos of nothing is what it is.
I mean, maybe it is because we're drunk, but he's still banned.
Yeah. It's apropos of nothing. We were not talking about rice. We were not talking about seasoning. We were talking about separation anxiety in this little boy.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Makes sense. Make it make sense, bro. Why are you talking about steakums anyway, bro? Steakums are shredded beef. It's like frozen shredded beef.
But just because Paul's eating food doesn't mean it's like, oh, this is what I had. This is what I had.
I don't even know if that's what triggered it. The guy literally came out of the fucking wild blue nowhere with his steakum story. I was like, man, maybe there's something I'm missing out of this.
No.
Dude, everybody loves a Modelo, dude. I love that I drink Modelo. Because, like, every time I get props for something that I should never get props for.
It's just something that
everybody
your
loves it.
Stepdad had around a lot when you go over. And...
Yep, and I just picked up on it, and I was like, that's a good brand of beer. I like it when I go over there and drink with my stepdad. I'm going to start drinking Modelo's, too. And now everybody's like, based Modelo's, bro. I'm like, yeah. Not as many people say based cigarettes, though, for some reason.
I don't think I'd ever have the same drinking tastes as my parents. They liked Mike's Hard Lemonade. And I
That
can't
is,
imagine.
that ain't, nah, dude. Hell no. Hell no. That's cheerleader beer, man. That ain't even really a drink, bro.
But they haven't had it in years. So it was like back when they were like drinking regularly.
Yeah.
But that's what I remember as a kid. They had some Mike's Hard.
As far as I can tell, I got the same drinking taste as my parents, you know. My mom was a big beer drinker, and I'm not saying I prefer it. It's just that it's easy for me. So I like beer. I like mixed drinks. I like occasionally like a shot of like tequila or something. I'm not adverse to that idea. Like a blended drink or something, you know, fruity, some tropical to get me in the mood to fucking hula dance on the beach or some shit when I'm vacationing. I'm chill with that. You know, so I think that's pretty much my parents. My mom was, you know, she preferred beers, and maybe to an extent that I don't. So that would make it, that would be a differentiation. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think maybe the reason I like whiskey is because I turned 21, like, basically in Kentucky. I was far enough south Indiana that I might as well have been in Kentucky.
Yep. Yep.
So there was good bourbon.
In Kentucky.
Which is just a kind of whiskey.
Tuckiana. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always had like a very tentative dance with alcohol because I understand that I am prone by genetics and family history and shit to abuse. And at times in my life, I indeed, looking back on it, would say I definitely qualified as an alcohol abuser there in my 20s when I was, you know. And so for a long time, I eschewed alcohol, and sometimes I still do. I'll go months and months and not have a beer, and then I'll get on a kick. I'll have beers for a while, and then, but I'm never like I used to be. Like me having 5 beers tonight that would have been like the first 2 hours of the party for me if I was just lounging, and then the hard liquor and fucking drugs and shit would have started. And that was like my pregame to
like,
go party.
I could tell that you're very different about it. That one night you just had 1 beer and then went to bed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an old man with it. Like, I just wanted that beer just to fucking wash down the fucking, you know, whatever we ate, and I was just chill with it, you know? Yeah, 1 beer was like nothing to me, you know? I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I avoid it. There's better drugs anyway. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Everyone's got their tastes, man.
Dude, tea for 2 and 2 for tea, you know? Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. You say opera and I say opera.
I do drink very differently from you, though.
Yeah.
I never, like, I've only gotten, like, super duper wasted a couple times, and that made me set my rule.
Right. Well, I don't ever think you pushed your tolerance anywhere near to the level I did.
Yeah, it's like a couple times I puked, and I'm like, I don't want to do that again, so.
Bro, I didn't even puke. Like, I was known as a dude that, like, you never had to worry about puking. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've thrown up from alcohol in my life. Period. And, like, there were people, every time you got with them, they'd take it over the fucking line a drink or two, and they'd be, oh, and everybody'd be like, oh, it's okay, dude. It's like, I never wanted to be that. But I never really had to contend with it because I've just got, like, dude, my family history is just prodigious for alcohol. It's like, I've got all of the genetic markers going all the way back.
You have to go absurd to throw up.
Yeah, I've got to go way over the top, like into alcohol poisoning territory for most people in order to get to the point where I start puking. And I just don't ever get to that point. I'll get right on the edge, maybe even slightly past it, but like never so deep that I lose myself. Like I said, one hand.
That
Probably
drinking contest was one of them.
Yeah, maybe 3-4 times in my life that I've upchucked all over everything fucking
And
because
since
I
that drinking
drank.
contest, you haven't ever gotten white girl wasted.
Well, that was my fucking wake-up call.
Yeah.
That was my, like, all right, dude, you're not 20 anymore. Like, that fucking shit. Because I felt like shit for, like, 2 days after that. My body was, like, 2 days till I felt normal after that. And I was like, all right. Your days of, like, doing that and then getting up and going to work the next morning and coming home and doing it again, you had fun, but those days are over. One of those puts you on your ass for 2 days. Weak trolls
so
tonight.
Apologetic though.
Yeah.
It was so cute. In retrospect.
Yeah.
I was worried, like, when it actually happened, but, like, in retrospect, it's fucking adorable that you apologize to the cat.
I mean, hey, I just met him too. I didn't want him to think this was my normal self coming home, you know. I'm so sorry, Cricket. This is not how Daddy usually is. Daddy's got a weird job, and I'm sorry. What keeps society civil, Paul? Is it law and order? I mean, yeah, I guess law and order is an extension of, you know, just like human nature, right? So human nature is collaborative. We do better working together. We're pretty, like I always use this as an example, but I think it stands, right? You take a human being, you strip them of the things that they couldn't make themselves, which is everything you have on your body, right, for most people, and you put them in the woods. What do you have? You have a giant piece of walking meat for anything that walks by. You've got something that's not probably going to be able to do much to survive for long. You know, so the very best case scenario, it's food for the mushrooms. You know, worst case scenario, it's hungry and weak and a wolf pack takes it. You know what I mean? Like, human being alone, weaker than shit. We're not equipped. We don't got the fangs, claws. All we got is up here. And that makes us dangerous together. And so human beings are kind of like evolved over the millions and millions of years that our bloodline and our little offshoot of mammals evolved. I'm sure that, like, a lot of our earlier ancestors, some of our offshoot ancestors were really violent and hyper competitive. In fact, we can see some of that in chimps today. Certain chimp troops are relatively chill, and some of them are just in a murderous war. Literally a murderous, they call it a literal war because there's nothing else they can explain. It's like a chimp troop that has gained, like, allies and smaller troops going against another troop trying to invade their fucking land to get more space. It's literally a human war, but it's chimps, and they're brutal to each other too. They'll rip each other's genitals off and leave them alive, so they go back as a fucking wounded as fuck and dying, bleeding out, but as a warning. You know what I mean? They're doing all kinds of human cruelty shit. So clearly there's an offshoot of humanity, and we see it in ourselves, the genocide going on right now.
Well, I think social pressure is more of what keeps us together than law. 'Cause law is just codifying existing.
That's what I
social
meant when I said
standards.
law is just human nature codified, right?
Yeah.
It's like human nature is what keeps
You
civilization
can see
together.
certain groups that defy certain laws because that's normalized in their group.
Right. So let's say, like, and it really is just basic thinking. Let's reduce the world to me on my little farm and you on the adjacent farm, and that's it. So I've got one neighbor on an adjacent farm. I don't want his land. Maybe he wants mine, but that's not my business. You know, he can't have it because he's got his own land. Probably doesn't, right? I've got to somehow meld myself with that person in order to, because think about this. Let's say that I go like, you know what? I want his cow. Fuck him. Competition, baby. And I steal from him. Well, now I've got an enemy for life. Now I've got a dude that hates my guts, and he's going to stymie me every step I take.
And is your primary concern him or the law of charging you for the theft of the cow?
Right. It's like, so it doesn't even come down to law. It's like, do I transgress against this person in a way that profits me and inconveniences or outright destitutes him, and create this enemy for life? So even if I go like, oh, just kill him and take his land, now you got two farms. Well, like I said, he's got family, right? There's, you know what I mean? It doesn't take a sheriff to come and shoot you for killing their dad on his little farm, right? So there's like repercussions that keep civilization working. Most people don't. It's like the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. The golden rule. Most people, whether they're conscious about it or not, to a certain extent live by that.
Yeah.
Now, I think our civilization has developed in ways where stepping on people is anonymous now in a lot of ways, or removed enough to where, like, maybe we're defying it. And there are certainly people that have been born, because we have it in our bloodline, that have been born that transgress, that aren't built. I don't want, normal is a bad word, right? But like neurodivergent people, or people that are raised or have trauma in their lives that have led them psychologically down a path. It's made them very antisocial.
But,
But those are outliers.
I think social consequences
Right.
matter more than legal consequences to most people.
Not anymore. I think you're wrong. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. So I just thought social media and like just getting canceled or called out over there can like drive people to suicide sometimes.
But that's a social consequence.
Right, that's a social consequence, but it's just like a weird one for me. Because when I think of social consequence, I think like if I fuck over everybody around me, then my neighbors hate me. Then the town hears about me at the coffee shop, and they're like, that Paul's ego guy's a real fuck. And then all of a sudden everybody's cold shouldering me and shit stiff-ended me, you know, and I'm like not welcome in a town anymore. You don't want to be that guy.
Because like with laws, if you feel like you can get away with it, that's the beginning and end of it. But if you think you're going to have social consequences for it, that's what you think of first.
Yeah, I agree.
Because law is an abstraction.
Right. Well, law is just a permutation of what we're talking about. It's just it's a human construct draped over natural human instinct of cooperation.
Yeah.
That's not to say that cooperation is always the first thing we go to as humans. I mean, there was warfare and humans killing humans before history, before the Stone Age.
But like, yeah, we can definitely like step on each other, and we step on each other brutally. But usually it's in pursuit of some social aim.
Right.
Like a war is, you know, fighting with your fellow countrymen or whatever.
Right. Or against some
Yeah.
enemy that would hurt your fellow countrymen, right? All of that is a social construct layered over human instinct, and it justifies the human instinct to only lash out when you're being threatened or when you feel like you have to in order to secure your people. Right? And that's just codified into these laws, but it's just drapery over basic human cooperation instinct.
And law is really just, it's like little breadcrumbs to the people. Because, you know, you can't stop everyone with law.
Yeah.
But you get little bits of satisfaction when one person is caught and they get punished.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just strange. I love psychology, though. Dale was right. Psychology is everything, Paul's ego. Everything is what you can interpret through your senses, and that's interpreted through your psychology, so how can anything be anything else? Even if it is something else separate from you, the way that you perceive it and interact with it is entirely based on this. It's crazy.
Well, just like how many laws have you broken? Not because you think law is stupid, but like, oh, my friends break the law. My neighbor gets away with breaking this law.
Right. Probably tons. Oh man, my back has been tweaked. The problem with my back. Hey D, let the people see how pretty. No. Come here.
Go see Daddy.
Come see me. Okay, look. Stop. Chill. Okay, let me switch. The people love you. Yes. Yawn. Good boy. You're so handsome and sweet. They love to see you. You make them happy, like you make me happy.
I haven't seen one person that didn't like a dino.
Dude, I don't want to meet that motherfucker. That might be the Antichrist. My voice is giving out. You hear it?
Yeah, you did 3 shows today. You did a stream before, and this is a stream after.
This is the front end of it, so I'm not in danger of like blowing my whole voice out, but
Probably want to chill out soonish. So
yeah, I'll finish this up soonish. But dude, I learned that when I first moved to Washington. You go look at the DP era, 'cause I'm sure those videos are still up, those episodes. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be. When I first moved to Washington, I got so fucking jazzed, bro, and I started doing this, where I was just like streaming, and then I was on the show, and then streaming after, streaming before, stream all night, stream all day, right? And I just blew my voice out, but the coolest thing happened. Instead of getting all like, I can't talk, I turned in, I swear to God, my voice, the only way that I could emote with my voice was, all right, let me tell you what's going on. All right, I'm going to explain this to you one time, and one time only. There's one fucking thing that moves me in this life. Cash on the barrelhead, okay? Cash on the fucking barrel. I couldn't talk any other way. It's like, hello there, smooth skin.
Yeah, you weren't in a position to be like, sorry guys, my voice is fucked. I gotta take a couple days off.
Even if I had that, which I could have, if I told the guys like, dude, I blew it out, I gotta fucking chill, they wouldn't have been like, you're fired. I wouldn't have allowed myself that fucking, it was me that kept myself there. Those guys, when they weren't slave drivers, if I was sick, they're not gonna have me puking up on the show. You know what I mean? They were reasonable with me. But I never would have put myself in that position. I was like, well, I guess that's my voice. Till this appeals or doesn't. I'd be fine talking like this for the rest of my fucking life if that's the way it works out. You sound like Ric Flair.
You know what you probably need after this?
What?
A nice cup of tea with some honey.
Ooh, that does sound nice. I like that idea. Yeah, that does sound good. I'm gonna grab my, here's what I need. Here's the Paul's Ego needs list, all right? Number 1, probably should eat another piece of pizza at least. Maybe I'll just finish up the pizza in there, probably will. It's not much. Then I need the tea, because that's a great idea. I wasn't even thinking about the tea. And then I'm just gonna fucking chill. My brain is fried. I can't be too into something. Maybe we'll watch, oh dude, we're watching this show. It's not brand new, but it's great. It's called The Terror. Have you guys seen this?
It's an AMC show that got put on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now, but it's an AMC show. And it's about this like lost Arctic expedition in the late 1800s, mid 1800s, you know, before like wireless communication and satellite communication, shit like that, right? So these people like literally took their lives in their hands trying to find what they called the Northwest Passage, which has since been confirmed. The idea that you can get to the Pacific Ocean from the Atlantic Ocean through the Northwest, going up over Canada, between Canada and the Arctic, and weaving your way. That is now a popular way to do it, but it's impractical. But the people
That's why we made the Panama Canal.
Right, the Panama Canal provided the, you know, the way that, you know, you didn't have to go all the way around the Horn of South America, which could be treacherous in its own right, because you come right up against, not Australia, Antarctica. Right, and so the Panama Canal allows big shipping and stuff to go all the way from the Atlantic to the Pacific in a centralized location that's strategically just the best you can get. But prior to that, there was this frantic search by a lot of the superpowers at the time Because if you could find a navigable way to get up north and around into the Pacific, you basically could print gold.
Because it would take way less time than going
Yep.
all the way down and
Yep.
back up again.
So you would be able to be responsive to the markets quicker, be able to send more loads, and reap more profit quicker than anybody else in the world. So everybody's looking for it, and that's what the show's about. It's about two ships, the Erebus and the Terror. These are real ships, and this is a real event, but it's a dramatized show about these lost crews who got iced in the Arctic. They didn't really know exactly where they were, and there was no way to get out. But so they just kind of like, we're not there yet, but I sense starvation and mutiny coming. But it's a really great show. So yeah. You just started it. Great so far. Yeah, man. I agree. I'm really into it. I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in now, babe. And it's really good. I'm super stoked about it.
And I assume
No, this one was just the British Empire sending exploration vessels. So these guys are all Brits doing the Queen's business. But yeah, we looked into it just to see, because I had a feeling it was like historical in some context, and it's entirely historical in its setting. The years are right, the characters are all named correctly, the ships are named correctly, the dates are correct, but as far as what happened on the boat, that's reliant on some ship's logs and a bunch of fill-in,
diaries. I imagine, they're being creative with it.
Right.
To a great extent, but I'm sure the major events are based in something.
Aren't you supposed to be in Hogwarts? Dude, I love it when people drop by and they think they're the cleverest person in the world because they're the 1,050th person to make a Hagrid reference because I've got a beard and long hair. That's my favorite person in the room right now, is Clayton Swenson. The dude that took the time to type that joke that nobody laughed at, not a single lol, not a single raffle-mow, not a single I know, right? So he took that time to type it out, probably within in his mind, dude, this dude's never been called Hagrid before, bro. Never in his life has he been called Hagrid. Man, you gotta fucking love human psychology, bro. There's no accounting.
What comparison have you gotten that stung the most?
Comparison?
Like, that you look like this person? Or any of them, like, really stung?
Not really. I mean, I'm not really, like, all that vain in the way I look anyway. So typically, a lot of times people say, you look like this dude, and I'm like, upgrade. You know what I mean? So no, I can't think of one. Like, Hagrid is a cool character. So I don't hate that. People call me Gimli. Gimli's a cool character, so I don't hate that. Dwarf, wizard, biker. None of these things are like inherently, offensive to me. None of them are true, but none of them are offensive. So no, I just think it's funny that people they always think they're the first one. They think that like that's gonna bring the house down.
I noticed the quesos went away.
Yeah, maybe queso's fallen off or something, or maybe they just kind of gave up, or maybe my mods are just on point, but yeah, I agree. The quesos have used to be 5 times every time. And I don't think I've seen a queso in 2 or 3 streams. So maybe queso's fallen off. Poor queso. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody's like, queso?
Or maybe he changed his look.
Yeah, maybe he shaved his beard or cut his hair or something. But yeah, dude, because it's not like traditionally Western usual for a man to have long hair and a long unkempt beard, there are people that just you can see the same thing in apes, right? I remember watching this Jane Goodall thing, and she wanted to see how apes reacted to one another. And situations where one of them wasn't aware. It's like a blind study, right? It was like she got an ape close to her and she rubbed a stripe of white on the ape's back, and then released it, and then she observed how the troop reacted. And they can't communicate like, hey, you've got a thing on your back, but it was almost immediate. They otherized the ape because having a stripe on your back isn't an ape, right? And so it's that. Her work with chimpanzees and fucking gorillas and other primates and stuff really revealed a lot about human psychology. Because we still have, not as strong, but we still have that drive in us as well. And it leads people to point out my beard. Because right now, ape no wear big beard. Because if ape wear big beard, he no get banana. How this ape have big beard and long hair when you rule is you have short hair and trim beard as ape, and you get no banana. How he get banana? I make comment on how he look different than, you know what I mean? It's the same shit. It's literally the same shit, bro.
Do you think fat jokes will ever die if, as the increasing majority becomes fat?
I mean, it may even flip. Skinnies may be on the fucking end of the fucking spectrum now. Well, I'm fucking eat a hamburger, skinny fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Maybe that time is coming, but no, I think fat jokes are here to stay. Fatness does hurt the body. It hurts your chances of winning a fight. It hurts your stamina, your athletic ability. There's every reason for people to judge it shallowly. So it'll always be judged shallowly. Dude, I haven't seen a new fucking chat. There's 136 people in here, and I swear to Christ, nobody has chatted. Nobody's chatted in a fucking hot minute. You braid your hair and beard and you look like a badass Viking? No. Because I'm not trying to like cosplay as a Viking, but thanks. We're all listening intently. Dude, that's crazy. 138 people and nobody chatted for like 3 minutes there. I was like, damn, I've got the power, bro.
I love how you'll go for like half an hour not even glancing at the chat. The second the chat stops moving, you're like, hey, what's up?
I know, keep it rolling, bitches. No. It's
like,
just funny.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
I've been ignoring you, but don't you ignore me.
Yeah, seriously, dude. This is the reverse zoo, okay? You're the chimp, and I want to look at you, so show me your ass. Quit hiding. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding. Well, partially kidding. I'm not kidding, but I don't feel like explaining it in a way that you would understand, so I'm not gonna do it. Because I've done it a billion times. But the reverse zoo is real, okay? This is a Paul's Ego original, by the way. I didn't steal this from anywhere. This is the reverse zoo, okay? I don't want to explain the whole thing, though. The point is, when I show up at the zoo and there's literally no monkeys chattering in the cage at all, they're all hiding behind the coconut tree, I feel like I want to get my money back at the zoo, you know? That's all I'm saying, you know? And if you can infer from that what I'm talking about, we're plotting. See, that's what I'm worried about. A quiet and invisible monkey is a sinister monkey. I don't like sinister monkeys. I like cute little zoo monkeys, okay? The mean ones, I kick them out. I tell on them to the fucking zookeepers with the wrenches. And they take them to monkey heaven, okay? But the nice, cute monkeys, dude, this is mean. I'm just joking with you guys. I hope you know that. I was going to say you're not monkeys, but we're all monkeys. I'm a monkey, too. Anyway, I'm going to take my leave, too. I'll see you guys later. It's been fun.